Good evening, ladies and gents, and welcome to this week's GKP Live. Usual thing, guys. We'll be right back after this. Evening, Daz.
Evening, Daz. Fancy seeing you here.
Oh, and I'm very surprised.
No, good time in.
See you. Yeah,
Evening,
good
mate.
week.
Evening.
I thought you might have been a little bit busy still. I thought you might have been a little bit later. So I thought I'd go live, get going, get you guys chance to come along. And for Marek Pond, this intro is nearly as long as yours, Phil. There's a very good reason for it, mate. And I shall explain it for all those other YouTubers out there that don't understand the thing that is monetization. When you are monetized, and if you swear within the first 3 minutes of your video, you only become partial monetized. So the intro is 3 minutes long, so that we can all go shit, piss and bugger afterwards without anybody being in trouble or getting us demonetized.
Crafty, isn't
it? It's Vince proof.
Nothing's Vince proof.
Well, yeah, true.
Well, yeah, he did manage to squeeze a few through.
He did manage. Even Crafty managed to do one though. Literally like 30 seconds in, boom. But yeah, that's the reason why. There's only one reason why, and it gives chance for 61 people to join in the length of the intro, which makes it a little bit more people there to actually come on and watch us. Nice. How you doing then, guys? You good? Good week?
Yeah, all good. Yes.
So far?
Yeah,
so far so good, Rick.
Push wood.
You worn out yet?
Yeah. Have I done what?
I say you worn out yet?
I'm feeling it a bit, but
Feeling the burn. Lower back.
just everywhere in there. It's
Everywhere.
fucking going on it. It's football last night that's done me in a bit. So
You see, well, you want to stop that.
That's a dangerous game, that is. Not that nonsense on the head.
2 or 3 times a week keeps me. I'd say it keeps me active, but it doesn't. Yeah.
I haven't played. The last time I played, I broke someone's crucial ligament and broke his leg. But you know when you both go in for a 50-50, you're like, who's gonna back out? But neither of us did. I got a great big lump on my shin, and he got a massive lump on his shin, but it tore his crucial ligament and broke his leg.
At least it wants his neck.
We're all right, but man, he were in a mess. Playing 5-a-side, that just little indoor gym. I haven't played since then. I thought pack that in for before somebody else gets hurt.
Too hard, and too tough.
You know the type of tackle I mean, though, don't you? And you both go in. As we both of us hit the ball at the same time, the ball flung off to the side, and we just went leg to leg straight on it. So not playing.
Blood bastard football. Yeah,
it happens.
I limped around for a bit, to be fair, but no way. You miles away from worrying about monetization. You're over 1,000, aren't you, Marek? I would have thought you were.
Who knows?
I never looked, to be fair, to be honest. But I've got to say, Marek, when I read your question out, he put in a question this week, and man, did it make us chuckle. I was talking with Vicky and Jeff for Working Week, and I read this question out. I said, listen to this for a question. I haven't, but I'm going to do now. And everybody will get to know later on what that question was. But it's a damn good idea. I think you definitely should. And I think everybody should. I bet Rick has. I bet you have. You'll get to find out.
I don't know what you're talking about, mate. So.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
I'm not admitting to it.
Marek's question was... Hang about. Let me make sure I get it right, because it was funny.
I will have to disappear in a minute because he's in the bedtime process.
Does everybody keep a secret pack of chocolate digestives in the filter house? With a question. I don't, but I'm gonna put myself a nice little stash of chocolate.
That's a good idea.
But yeah, I think it's a good idea. But I bet Rick's got some chocolate digestives at work in the filter house.
We've always got stashes like Quality Street in the office there.
Sweet tooth.
The staff bring mine down to me with a cup of tea normally.
Yeah, you do, don't you? You get all those proper blue ribbons and everything, don't you? All fancy biscuits down there.
Yeah, with a little doilies and
everything. A posh Lex and Marek. Right, well, we've got a few topics, but thank you very much to everybody also sent in the pictures of the ponds and the little video clips that they've sent in as well. Hopefully, at some point, Mr. Tate did say he might join us this week. I'm not 100% sure if he did, but the link is up there at the top of the comments, Alan, if you do want to join us, mate. We've got a few questions and a few little bits and bats that have been posted on the Facebook group that I think we could perhaps maybe help and point people in the right direction and try help them with some of their issues. If they don't manage to pick it up on here, I will type up the answer that we get to the individuals so that they can pick it up on the Facebook group as well. And one of them, which was a lady who's posted in a little bit of a topic, she's struggling with fin rot and mouth rot, and would like to know, hi, could I get some advice on how to stop fin rot and mouth rot? I've tried a number of treatments. I've tried a number of treatments. Nothing is working. I do a water change once a week. Can anybody help? Many thanks, Chris. So he's got his pond at present is between 10 and 12 degrees, and it's been heated and kept at that temperature. But he's got mouth rot and fin rot. Best treatment for mouth rot and fin rot.
You need to find the overall sort of source, but generally the bacteria that cause it is flexibacteria that malachite works quite well with. But you need to find out where it's come from. Whatever that temperature is not great. You're in a window that's more beneficial probably to the bacteria than the fish's immune system. So if you went higher or lower, you might have less problem. But yeah, realistically, malachite should be knocking it on the head with a couple of treatments, unless it's a lot more aggressive form of bacteria that's causing it, or there's something else going wrong. But yeah, generally if it's affecting like the top of the mouth and the fins, it's a strain of flexibacteria that is quite susceptible to the malachite. So that should do it. But the temperature zone is not great.
Yeah, so 10 to 12 ideally could do with being more 18-ish.
Yeah, the higher it is, the better the fish's immune system will be dealing with it. You're kind of in a nasty temperature zone for bacterial problems. So, yeah, if you went colder and did nothing, they'd probably be better. Or if you went higher and treated them, they'd probably sort themselves out. But you're kind of in that.
One of the answers that there's only been one answer left with it. The one answer says a PP dip will kill the infection, but you need to find out the cause.
Same, yeah. Yeah, I mean, potassium will, sort of sterilise most things it comes into contact with, but you've got to find out you've got to find out why it's happening and deal with it in the whole water column and everywhere else. It's not. So if you just took the fish out and dipped them, you might sort it for a short period, but if it's still there and the fish is susceptible, then you might find it recurring or whatever. So, yeah.
There you go, mate.
Depends on what they've already used as well, doesn't it? So, if they've already used potassium or malachite, it might give more of an idea as to what to try or not to try. But yeah, that temperature, unfortunately, it's an okay temperature to overwinter fish at when they're all happy, but it's not a great temperature to overwinter them if you've got a problem, because you're not really helping the fish as much as you could.
There we go, Mr. Hadfield. Thank you very much for joining. How are you doing?
Lord.
Ah, gate crash. Oh, mate, I can't believe I'm on here.
He's on. He's down the pub, isn't he?
Surprise? How are you doing?
I'm not too bad, mate. I
Good
can't
man.
believe how easy that was to snipe on here.
Nice and easy for everybody, mate. Straight in as a snipe in there.
Well, yeah, well, mate, you know what I mean? I've still got the old job on the brain. Yeah, well, not quite down the pub, mate, but I'm having a glass of red.
I thought you were with a bottle in the background there.
I'd join you, but it's in there. I have got one actually open, so I might have a sneaky one.
Oh, no.
You
can't get the host drinking.
Gaz on the wine.
It's all going to turn to shit.
How's your pond doing, Lee? In fact, actually, you're a real good guy to have on. A question that we actually have, and I know that you will be able to help with, because I know you've started to get in with it. So let's bring up that question, because this is belting.
I'm nervous now.
This works.
You know,
out.
yeah. It's in the deep end.
Yes.
Is it anything about anal fins?
No.
Oh, all right.
Or anal. It's not to do with that either. Let me see if I can find it now. Bear with me 1 second.
I got hell of a bad guts. I had like literally a bowl of jalapenos at Pizza Hut, and I had to run home when I was walking the dog, mate, because I nearly shite myself.
Why
And
did you
trust
think
me,
that, Craig?
no drum would have filtered that out of a pond.
Did you not learn anything from watching Ricky eating one of them bad boys?
Mate, honestly, my guts are still in bits. I don't know why I do it. It's just so nice
You
going
did the
in.
challenge with your last, didn't you, as well?
Who's that? Me?
Yeah, on was it Instagram, or you had to eat a hot, like, big chili thing?
Right. I've got one of those left.
No thanks.
They're the
can keep
they're the
it.
hottest chips in the world. Absolutely
was it the
unbelievable.
Doritos?
Huh?
Yeah. Was it the Doritos?
Yeah, it's a Dorito. It's like a black Dorito.
Yeah.
You got to wear a glove, right?
Yeah.
And I tricked one of the boys that works for me in the shop to eat it, and he had to go home, mate. He was in bits. And I've got one more chip that I'm trying to give to a bit of a naive customer, but no one will take the bait. Like. But mate, it's unbelievable. Like, you know,
Have you
as soon
seen
as
the
it goes
guy
in
on
your mouth.
YouTube that does that? There's a guy on YouTube that does it in a car park outside a supermarket store, and he's literally first 3 or 4 seconds he's fine. Next thing you know, he sweats a bead, and
just
then he's
gets straight
throwing up
into
in
you.
car park, rolling around on the floor, holding his stomach and everything. He's in a
Yeah,
bad
yeah.
way.
Yeah, and do you know what, right? When I was when I was in Iraq in 2003, I got a really bad dose of DMV, and I don't know. Mate, honestly, I was so ill. Mate, I was just behind the main battle, about 10 kilometers behind Ramallah Bridge in the Ramallah oil fields, like just pooing and being sick, egg yolk for 3 days, right in 50-degree heat. I've never felt like a homeless Sri Lankan chihuahua in my life, right? You know, like those dogs that are just left to die in the street. That's what I felt like, right? And mate, honestly, since then, if I have any kind of hot food, boom, it just kills me inside. So I think I've damaged my insides a little bit from that one particular, bad episode I had over there. But oof, mate, it was horrendous.
But still, you eat chilies.
That's
what I'm saying. Mate, they're nice going in, but like as soon as they get past my throat, yeah, I'm done. Like, do you know what I mean? I should stick to wheat germ, to be honest.
Red wine and wheat jam.
Well, might even go on the balance on a Sunday just for a treat.
Terry Gander asked us a question, and his question was: can British bred koi compete with Japanese koi on a British koi scene? And the second question to that is: how do we prepare our fish for a koi show, aka feeding, what foods and preparations for a show? Well, the reason why I say that is because you've started doing it, you've got into it, haven't you? So this couldn't work out any better.
So the first one, can British bred koi compete with Japanese bred koi? I think so. As long as they've got the Japanese genes. Do you know what I mean? Like if this year I go to Sakai or Danichi or anywhere and get like, some nice parent koi. Well, let's just say, okay, again, no, let's just go this way, a different way. Let's just say from one batch, from one parent set, I buy, let's just say I was lucky and I picked 2 amazing Tozai, right? I took those back to the UK. 2 female Tozai from the same batch stay in Japan. They go in the mud ponds. They do whatever they want to do. It's like Ricky. Ricky has the same results as the guys in Japan. Now, no, I'm going wrong here. Sorry. We'll just say 1 female, leave it there. 1 female. No, a parent set, leave it there. Parent set, take it back to the UK. Just because they've given birth in Japan and the other fish that I've taken over from the same batch is giving birth in the UK, as long as they've got the right environment, of course they're going to keep up with each other. They've got the same genes and genetics. It's just fortunately for Japan, they don't really have to try to achieve the perfect environment. They've got it, haven't they? For us,
it's a numbers game as well. They can their numbers are far greater than anything that we can do over here.
Yeah, and again, this is what I've seen when I've gone over to Japan now, is that unless you really go to source fish there, it's really difficult to get good fish over here. It's not difficult, but you do pay a lot of money. But when you go to Japan, and when you get like a bit of a rapport with some of the breeders and you make them laugh and you show them a nude or something, and they've got fun, they're quite funny, mate. They've got the same dirty sense of humor as like the British. And you get on well. Like once you've broken that barrier down and you've built a bridge, they're quite cool. And they don't want to sell some of their best tatty guy stuff. They really don't. But you can persuade them to do it. So from being over there and having a laugh with them and getting a good relationship, you can twist their arm to buy the best stuff, which ultimately, when it's over here in the right environment, it's going to do well on the show scene, isn't it?
Yeah. So I mean, they can compete with them, can't we? Because we only have to look like Adam Bayer. Adam Bayer's Kahaku, he's had 2 or 3, maybe 4. Last season he had Baby Champion. Season before he had was it? I'm sure he had a couple of positions, didn't he, last year? He got one with an Asagi, one with a Kahaku. So I mean, he's got certificates. Rick.
Yeah, some of your fish.
Alan Tate told us about one of your fish that took a first place in over here against. I mean, that's going up against Japanese fish. British fish as well, obviously. But
They will do in smaller sizes. The big problem is the
but you're
bigger
talking,
size.
yeah, you
You
big
just-
big stuff.
Yeah, once you start going
Probably
over
not as
70
much as of a
centimeters,
chance I wouldn't have thought, but
it's a
who
nightmare.
knows?
I don't know if you can remember, like last year, I think I offloaded it. Don't know why, no particular reason. It's just nice to have like a turnover of koi, really, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? But I had that Adam Bayer. I done the Adam.
All you did is grow show, didn't you?
I done the
with-
daily grow on, didn't I? And I had that Adam Bayer Kawaku, mate, and it was cracking. Even Ian Jenkins was like, "Oh, that's a nice," and it was a nice fish. Just I got a little bit bored with it, and I just wanted to pass it on, so I got a bit more room, But it was a hell of a fish. Like Adam was like messaging me about it as well because it won quite a few firsts, and it was a bit awkward actually because we were in was it the Newark? Oh no, the southeast, the last southeast. He was like, "Oh, how's the fish?" And I went, "Oh, yeah, I've offloaded it." But it was awkward. But I thought there's no reason for it. It's just, I just thought just a bit of a, you can't buy like 5 fish and have them for the rest of your life. You need to sort of like, turn
Well,
them
you're
over a
hoping
little
to
bit.
advance, aren't you, with the hobby?
There's always a better fish in there.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it's difficult, and sometimes you just get, it doesn't make a difference what the quality is or how amazing the growth is going and stuff like that. A pond is a small environment. It doesn't make a difference how big the pond is. It's still a numbers game, and you can't really, it's not like collecting Lego. You can't just put another shelf up in your front room and put the Bugatti Bayron up there and then buy. So, you can't keep building ponds. Well, I do, but you can't keep building ponds.
God damn, you've built some ponds and a half, man. Make it bigger and then build another one. Knock it down. 3 months later.
Yeah.
I was talking as such and building another ponds. You're going to be having to build another pond for Tamasaba collection.
Well, Alan's not watching, is he? But like,
He is. Yeah, he is. Yeah.
yeah, no, mate, I really do like Tamasaba. I think they're amazing. And in an ideal world, on this cabinet behind me here, I'd have a 6-foot tank with Tamasaba in them, and I wouldn't feed them to keep them tiny, right? But those things grow. They're like bricks after a few years, and I really do love them. I'm not sure if there's a place in my pond for them, but if I was a millionaire, I'd have another pond just for Tamasaba, and I really do appreciate them. I think they're absolutely incredible, especially all these new ones coming out now with all like the koi markings and stuff.
Yeah.
I think they're great, but well, like I said, I think there's definitely a
You're not
space.
having one in your own grown show, then? You're not going to have a go?
Well, I know I will be.
Oh,
Do you know
really?
what I mean? I might just put it in the filter.
God.
I'll keep it in the clean side of the drum, going around. Yeah, I probably will. I'll have to, won't I? Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Well, you got the grow on now. That's all done and finished. You can get them in there.
Well, actually, I've had really, really exciting news today. Yeah, so I'll have to pull my finger out with that grow on now. It's pretty much there. I need about 2 or 3 days left on that, and then that is good to go. But yeah, I've just got my hands on those new Awaz brushless motors, and pumps. So the whole system now is going to be Awaz, which is really exciting. So it's nice to have the whole system Awaz, and if I can do a really good result with the grow ons that I'll possibly be buying in Japan in a couple of weeks, that'll look good, be good.
Probably. You got to buy some in Japan in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I probably, but like I said, I'm quite disciplined, to be honest, mate. Mate, there's a lot of fish that's crossed my eyes when I've been over there, and I've gone, oh my word, they are incredible. But the best thing to do is just go over there when you're skint, and then you can't buy stuff. Unless you buy them through exclusively koi, and they give you a massive slate.
Yeah.
And you pay for them for the next 2 years.
Yeah, it's just.
But yeah,
I
I think I will. I'm really keen. Well, in fact, Ricky beat me to the post, actually. I think I watched one of his lives yesterday, the day before, and he was going on about Kanskei's Kahakus. Amazing. But, I know he bought all the bloody tozai in the pond, so I ain't going to get to those. I could probably buy them through Ricky, but I'd rather go over there and source them myself. It's a bit more fun, do you know what I mean? But failing that, Odakan has got some absolutely amazing Sankey. He bought one of Tucano's male fish, male parent koi. Well, a male to be a parent koi, and he's bred them with one of his females. And I seen the crop over there, and they look incredible. So, well, we'll see. I might take Tucano out for another meal and see if he'll do me a little deal. Not that he'll give me any money off, but he'll give me a pick of his better stock, if you know what I mean. That's how it works over there. You don't get money off, but if they like you, they'll lift up a couple of holding nets and there'll be some special. I've seen, mate, it's amazing over there, right? Because we'll walk into a koi house and Ryan will go, right, yeah, I'm after some, Hirasawa or something like that. We've got a Hirasawa and we'll go, right, want some Deutsch Showa, because he does amazing stuff. And he goes, oh yeah, they're all in there, mate. In Japanese, obviously, and it's translated. And then Ryan will look and he'll go, nah, they're not for me. Where's your better stuff? And he goes, oh, yeah, that's all I've got. And he goes, oh, come on, where's your better stuff? And he goes, oh, jump in the car, come to my other koi house then. Secret one, no one's ever seen this before. Turn up there, and he goes, these let. And Ryan goes, yeah, not too bad. He goes, but where's your better ones? And he goes, no, that's it. And he goes, come on, where's your better ones? So Ryan has to buy a box or two of those then to get access to his other ones. And then we'll walk just down the greenhouse and he'll pull up all of these holding nets, hiding all the best fish underneath. Mate, they're buggers, mate. They're just hidden everywhere in the filters. They'll pull up grids sometimes and they'll go, yeah, that's my number one down there. And it's just in the black, in amongst all the bloody, like, the shells and the UVs, like, just hidden away from prying eyes. It's incredible over there, honestly.
And somewhere I'd love to go. I'd love to go over and have a look. I'd love to see it all. Visit it all, experience the atmosphere. I mean, I don't think I could go over there buying any fish, obviously, but I'd love to go over and see it all and do a visit and do a tour of all these koi farms and everything. Places like where you went, mate, man, it's unreal, isn't it? Absolutely unreal. It looks.
It's unbelievable. Fantastic. It's unbelievable. And if you don't go there, like I said, obviously, I watch Evo's videos and stuff like that, and Evo's videos are amazing. I love Evo's videos. And they're really good. Like Evo knows a lot of people over there. He's got a lot of respect actually with a lot of people because they know obviously it's a marketing tool for them. Do you know what I mean? Quite rightly so. But when you go over there, there's more. Like Evo shows you all the best bits, but my favorite bit is I'll get out of the car, have a snoop around, and go around the back of the koi houses and have a snoop around and see what they're doing. Oh, look at that old shovel. I'm a bit weird like that. I love to see like all the bits of grid, how they've made stuff. Do you know what I mean? I'm just weird like that. But it's just the whole thing. Like, I remember,
it all, though, isn't it? It's interesting, isn't it?
I love it, mate. Like what brushes they're using to clean these. Oh, mate, I'm just weird, like, do you know what I mean? And then, like, it's just great, mate. I can remember the very first time I walked into a koi house over there. It was Odakan's place. And I walked in. It was in last February. 2 meters of snow. Well, not actually by Odakan's, but on average up the mountains, 2 meters of snow. Walked into Odakan's, boiling hot, obviously, because they're heated and they've got like these, I don't know, diesel heaters or something. And you don't realize how, mate, it smells like the back of a Hercules. It's like like the fumes are so powerful in there, it gives you a headache. And then you'll see them all smoking and they're just chucking their fag butts in the ponds. And they'll go, oh yeah, I'll go down the filter and be taken away. And like we're worried about like any traces of stuff in our pond, mate. Those mate.
They don't care.
I've seen them piss in a drum before. They don't care, mate. Because they just, they're mad, like. But it's not as sterile as you think over there. You know what I mean? Yeah. The fish do well.
Sweet.
They do well. There's a lot of fish in those fish houses, isn't there? When you walk in, you think I could walk across that.
Honestly, yeah.
It looks like it sometimes, though, when you see them, doesn't it? It looks like you could simply walk across the backs. There's that many fish in them. They're crammed, aren't they, sometimes when they're doing the harvest?
Yeah. It's amazing. Like, I was tattooing a couple of days ago, and I never watch my videos back because I hate my voice, right? But like, I was one of my customers was talking to me about koi. Even if my customers don't like koi, they love talking about it because there's something mesmerizing about fish, and everyone likes fish. Doesn't make a difference who you are, right? They just like fish, right? And then when I talk about koi, I go, oh yeah, I'm going back to Japan actually in February, and they're like, oh, is it? You try to explain, well, how'd you get them back then? And you, in a bag, some water, some oxygen, they're prepared, they get shipped over, and they can't work it out. So this customer the other day, he was one of my mates actually from back in the day. I put one of my videos on of the October thing, of a harvest, because I was explaining where they live and in the summer and how they grow, and they mesmerized me. Honestly, it just mesmerizes people, isn't it? Because there's so much information that people just can't fathom with keeping koi, and in the hobby. It just bonkers. It baffles people. Bullshit baffles brains, and there's a lot of bullshit in the koi hobby.
Certainly is.
Yeah.
We've got a quick question there from Rick's Koi Pond. What temp, max and min, can you treat with malachite green?
Pretty much across the spectrum. If you need to use it, down from
You
about
can use
8
it at any
degrees
temp.
up,
Is
up,
it
whatever.
not a temperature-driven treatment? No.
Not so much. No, I mean it does affect. Obviously, it works quicker at higher temperatures, but if you've got a problem, you need to use it. You need to use it, don't you? So, from 8 degrees upwards, it's not really an issue. It's just
There you go, Rick.
you need it, don't you?
Elizabeth Farr's popped us one in. Does a pond that's got 5 foot deep and stay the same temperature during the winter months? Is the deep end warmer? Oops, that's two questions.
Depends if your pump's circulating it round.
5 foot pond
Water, doesn't
with a
it?
deeper end. At the deeper end. Stay
If it was a
warmer during the
static
winter
body of
months.
water, it would freeze at the top and be 4 degrees at the bottom. Water's densest at 4 degrees, so whatever you do, it wants to sink. But if you circulate it, you can super chill it down to -2 and keep it liquid.
Yeah.
Kill everything in the pond but if it can't freeze if it's moving, and that's kind of the. But if you had a static pond, then the bottom would be 4 degrees and the top would be frozen, be 0. But you can actually make it
I
colder.
did notice that, to be fair, when mine froze up over the week, prior to it freezing, I had fish moving around every now and again, then clustering all up and settling down for evening as the temperatures dropped off late towards the night. Once the pond froze over, everything was swimming around all over the place, just cruising around. I was pretty surprised to see them moving around as much as what they were underneath the ice, especially through the day. It took 4 days for that to defrost, where everybody else had gone and cleared up, within the day. Took full 4 days for it to completely go.
But you'd switch yours off, wouldn't you?
I switched everything off. Yeah, if I hadn't done, I'd have been.
You're creating a thermocline, whereas other people have got stuff moving, so their pond might be colder than yours, but liquid, no ice on top because you're moving it all around.
Yeah.
That's the problem. You've got to be a bit careful, and if you've got decent fish, you just don't want to let it go that cold. What's yours at, Lee? 15,
24.
24.
Summer all year round.
Sometimes it goes to 25, but mostly 24.
I'll be out there all night in my shorts, mate, sat in there like.
Yeah, I wouldn't know.
Mate, I
Enjoying it.
well, yeah, mate, it's lovely. As soon as I go in there, mate, it's like tropical. Like, when I come back from Japan now in February, I'm actually gonna redo the roof. I love the pond. I'd never not have a covered pond now, I don't think, because I think there's loads of benefits to it. Yeah, it's not super nice to look at if you've got a beautiful garden, but my pond, as far as I'm concerned, is just a machine to keep those things at pristine, condition and growing. That's it, really. I like the look of it because I know it's doing its job well. So that's all I matter about. But what I want to do is I want to pitch the roof a little bit, and I want to project. I'm going to take everything off and make it so I can slide the doors open and have an area about a meter and a half all the way down the front of the pond where I can walk into it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, so you're going to make
So I
it
can
like
interact with the fish a
greenhouse
bit
around
more.
it, so to speak.
That's right, yeah. Because the one thing, obviously I open my window and I've got 3 meters access. That's fine. I can do whatever I want to do in there, but I'm still in the elements. I want to go inside really and have a mooch around and maybe be naked.
Yeah. A rocking chair and just sitting.
Yeah, a little rocking chair, some palm trees. I'm not going to go as far as lizards, but nice.
Yeah, sounds good to me. I'll come
So we'll
round
do
for
that.
holiday.
But I bought all the hardware in Japan last time. I bought when you go to Japan, all all their greenhouses are made with like all these like stainless steel like little hardware, and I don't think you can buy them over here. It's like just a Japanese thing. So I bought like 4 kilos of these things and took them back in my hand luggage and stuff like that. So they must have thought I was fucking mental coming back with. But I had like, oh mate, the things I've got in my suitcase when I come back is no man's like your business. Honestly, everything from sex toys to pupae, and no, I'm joking, no sex toys.
Didn't try and get samurai swords back.
No. I've got a couple of those.
We got them more.
I bought a 2-foot machete back from Costa Rica in my suitcase and never even questioned it.
I think if it's in your suitcase, I don't think they don't mind that much, to be honest. But do you know what I did bring back, and I do intend doing it again. And I don't know if it's illegal or not. I'm not quite. I don't. Maybe it is. I don't know. But you know, like the silkworm pupae.
Yeah.
You know, over there they got really high quality stuff. It comes in a kilo bag, all vacuum packed, and it's like a £5. You know, that's super cheap, really. Isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
I mean, if you bought live pupae back, then yes, you would be.
But the dead stuff, you know, I bought 3 of those back. But this time, I'm gonna fucking fill a suitcase up, mate. Honestly, because you know, the koi love them. I make this. It's so expensive over here, isn't it? I wish I could buy like a, you know, 20 kilos of the stuff over here for that price because it's awesome. But that's such a good. You know, that's such a good additive to my food combination that I use. It's you know, it's obviously doing something, but like, you know, I think with all the mix I do, it's working really well at the moment.
It might depend on what species of silk moth they are. I mean, Bombyx morii is your actual silkworm that originates in China, but there's Samia, there's all different other species that are still called silkworms.
Right, okay.
Indian varieties.
No,
so, yeah.
Great silk.
It's mad, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, it comes from a really good shop. You know, there's like you got the koi sort of like wholesale shop, which is really good. You know, you can get your nets and stuff like that from there. It's really good. But then there's this in Ogea. There's if you would have seen the videos, you would have seen me going back to this shop all the time. And it's a little jewel, mate. It's where the old original auction house is in Ogea. It's right opposite that, and the auction house is closed down now. But like it's opposite that. And it's mate, it's like, oh mate, the only thing that they haven't got in there is a mogwai. It's awesome, mate, honestly. But really high end stuff, you know.
It's not the one the koi partner went in, was it? And
that's the one. Koi partner. Evo loves it there. Me and Evo was there last time, and we just like hammered it. We just like bought everything, you know. Yeah. But it's good. It's really good. You know,
they do little brooches and all kinds of things, aren't they, correlated?
Yeah. Oh no. So you might be on about. There's a koi gift shop in Ogea, which is right by where those like koi openings to go down to the train and all is. Now that's closed. Yeah, that's closed now, which is strange. But Evo seems to think that maybe the lady that owned it is passed on, possibly. Do you know what I mean? Because she was a little bit old, but she was lovely, and I'm really happy that the first time I went there, I actually went there, and so it's a bit of history that I've actually got under my belt that no one will ever have again. So I'm quite chuffed that I've been there. That means a lot, like, you know. But every time you buy something there, she always gives you a gift as well. You know, she was really cute, like, you know. Only met her once, but we definitely connected.
Got a question from Dino. He says, how big or how old does a koi have to be to spawn?
Female about 3-year-old, depending on the temperature. It's all temperature related. So, yeah, a sand side that's been kept warm will even a knee size sometimes will produce eggs in some varieties. But it's all temperature. If they haven't had any heat, about 6 years. So if they have plenty of heat, 2 years.
Yeah.
Well, talking about that, actually, I think I'm not sure if it's live yet. I think I've done a video today, and I'm going to put it live in a minute. But I've got an Issa Showa, which is Nisai, and that's, you can tell by the body that's got a little bit of egg on it. It's not massive, but it looks okay. But it's definitely got. But then again, it's been at 24 degrees, so that's probably exactly. You know,
so that's again,
she's loving it.
That again would be the same thing with having it on the heat, brings on the development faster, brings on the growth quicker, brings on the years of heat years quicker.
Just degree days, isn't it?
Produce,
Efficient, the fish at 24 degrees for 2 years is the same as a 4-year-old fish that's only been at 12 degrees or whatever. It's degree. They
So it'll advance them quickly
everything
and get them
happens
more
in
ready for it.
increases, isn't it?
Sweet.
So, yeah.
I know
There you
when
go,
I
Dino.
wake up in. I know
2
when I
years
wake
plus.
up in the. I know when I wake up in the morning and I'm warm, and I've been warm for a degree an hour for 12 hours. I feel like spawning.
Yeah.
Always wake up with a morning glory, even at my age.
You need an ice pack. Keep you cool.
Well, yeah, I'll
Put
get
one
myself
leg
back
out
in the
at
week, Jim.
cover. Keep an even temperature.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
If you
one to
keep those-
another one.
If you keep those fish constantly warm, though, Rick, will they spawn naturally, or do they need a cold period to make them spawn?
You just need a shock, a change of environment.
Yeah,
So
but if you
that's
keep them
the problem
steady all
with
the
the shows.
time,
That's the big problem with the shows, isn't it? Everyone's keeping their fish in good, warm, constant temperatures. You go to a show, they get a temperature shock, and then it's up and down. Next
you do
morning,
see a
you're
lot of
in the
spawning.
vats, and it's a mess, isn't it? But that's
Yeah, we saw a lot of this last year now, isn't it? Yeah,
happens all the time. Yeah, you
Coventry
can't.
there's a lot spawning.
Yeah, all those females are all ready to spawn at the first change of conditions, aren't they? So
Yeah.
as soon as you move them, they're
Yeah,
like,
different water.
what's going on, aren't they?
Yeah.
So yeah, unless the shows could maintain all the water at 20 degrees or whatever, and the fish are all coming from 20 degrees, it's an impossibility.
Say if
The
you
risk.
kept your fish at a constant 20 degrees and you didn't change anything, would that mean they would just stay like that? They would not spawn?
They still can be triggered, but yeah, it's a lot harder. That
It's a
temperature,
lot- yeah.
temperature is one of the biggest factors in it. Whether it's for us, normally we're shocking them upwards from cooler water up to warmer water, but for someone like Lee that's got warm, going to a show where it's cooler will be enough of a trigger. So he could put his fish that have shown no sign of anything for years swimming around his pond, takes them to a show, pops them in the cooler vat, and next thing you know, they're going around the edge trying to drop eggs, and if there's any males in there, it's
Yeah.
not what you want at a show, is it? But
No.
I have been lucky. I've like, since I've been keeping koi for about 3.5 years, maybe now, I've not had any spawnage at all. And like I said, well, like you were saying, when I went to the national last year, mate, the temperature fluctuations was mad.
yeah.
I had a horny goshki in there. I could see it rubbing against everything, but it didn't trigger nothing, so it must have been a right ugly cunt. And yeah, nothing at all. And I've had a couple of accidents with the heaters breaking and dropping the temperatures to come back up, but I've been super lucky that I've had nothing. Do you know what I mean? So yeah,
There were a lot of fish
it's mad.
spawned last year, though, weren't they, at shows? There were a couple
Yeah,
that did, didn't they? There were
Loads, yeah. Chip
loads of
had
eggs
Chip
everywhere.
had a couple of fish spawning.
Yeah.
Mate, Chip, it was funny because Chip's vat in the national, he had fish spawning. He had 75
females,
cm
weren't they?
plus, and they were 3 females,
Yeah,
and they
there's
were
no
still
telling
going
with them.
for it.
Still going.
Lesbi kois, awesome.
It dropped a ton of
I
eggs.
couldn't stop looking at them.
Yeah.
I think me and Daz, who walked past, were like, "Do you think we'd get away with scooping a few
Yeah.
out?" And see what it was?
Yeah, should have.
Yeah.
Just need to get some males out of another vat, didn't we?
Yeah.
Got
I tell you what, I sat there.
Well.
I sat there and watched Chip's bloody vat for about 20 minutes with a pretty funky peduncle. But there's something about big-bodied females rubbing themselves against each other in water or out of water, to be honest.
Whatever floats your boat, isn't it?
Well,
Not my
that's
cup of tea. Samantha's asked a question. Is it worth doing any precautionary treatments when opening the pond up after winter?
It depends on if it's being cold. I wouldn't unless you've got a problem. You're better off having a microscope and doing a scrape and watching the fish. If they're good, why put anything in then?
Yeah. If it's not broke, don't fix it.
I think the only thing that I would do is just pre-treat if I saw signs of blanket weed. But other than that, I wouldn't be treating anything from a fish wise. But if I saw the starts on, early start of spring kind of thing, and a bit of blanket weed starting to kick in, I normally do an early treatment on that just to stop it from getting to any length, and then trying to, tackle it when it's already got long. I try to treat it early doors when it's short and it's just started. But other than that,
Yeah.
I don't really do anything else at all.
I do that on a daily
leave it be.
basis. Bloody stuff.
Well, yeah, well,
Do you
might be
get any
technically the
issue
reason
in
why
yours,
I get
mate?
it worse this year.
What's that?
Do you get any issue with blanket weed at all in yours running like that?
Nah, none.
You quite often
None.
find-
Not even nothing on the walls. No green on the walls. On the floor, I get sort of like, I think it's a really healthy thing actually. Sort of like white patches of I don't know what is. Do you know what I mean? You get those little white dobs of stuff. But nothing. Just a discoloring on the black. Like my pond's almost as black as it was when I fiberglassed it. It's like. It works really well. It's because it's sheltered quite a lot from direct light. It probably in the summer, it probably only gets an hour of direct sunlight early in the morning, and the rest of it then is just secondary light. You know what I mean? It's not directly on the pond, and it's done the fish. Well, the condition of the fish are really good. You know, I can't. It was the right position to put the pond, to be honest.
I'll send you some blanket weed if you want some, Lee.
No thanks.
Yeah, he sent me some, Lee, and it started to grow damn quick. But I treated and got rid of it. Hopefully that should keep it at bay. But that did come on pretty damn fast, as in that plant pot. It was growing from that plant pot pretty quick. Couple of lilies.
I had some once on my original pond. I had a load of blanket weed there, mate. It was on the sides of the wall, like as long as your finger. And I used what did I use? Name a product. It was a
Blanket answer.
Oh no, you used some other stuff.
Blanket weed Resolve, is that right?
Yeah, blanket Resolve. Yeah, I think you used.
Yeah,
in a packet, wasn't it? In a bag.
Yeah, I put that in once, turned it all black, came off, fish ate half of it, never came back again, ever.
Resolve,
so it was a weird thing, yeah.
I'll have to try that.
Yeah, it was all right, yeah.
That blanket answer's always worked for me, to be fair, but I've always just done like a half dose if it's just started, and it always keeps it clear for the rest of the year. So
it's one of them things. If you've got a lot of fish in there, they destroy it anyway.
Yeah,
you don't get to see Ricky's place in blanket weed, do you? It's just fish. If it's in there, it's eaten, gone.
Yeah.
You got a lot of big fish though in yours that be constantly grazing around on that bottom of that pond and side of your ponds anyway, Lee, won't they? So
yeah, I think probably
relatively, well kept back, in a sense.
Yeah, I think that shows as well when you go to the shows. Obviously, they're off the feed for normally 5 days before I do 5 to 7 days, normally 5. But there's still they're still grazing because you can see when they're in the vat, there's still some poop on the bottom of the vat, so there's something going in there,
so they are grazing,
which is
sides.
Algae,
Yeah, which is the bit that keeps your pond clean, doesn't it, in itself?
Yeah.
Going back to a question we had earlier that we actually didn't really answer about preparing fish for shows. I think we skipped that.
The actual preparing side of fish. What's involved in preparing a fish for a show, Lee? Without giving away your secret tips, but
mate, there's no secrets, mate. I learn all my stuff off other
I've never
people.
done any of it.
Right, okay. If you want to know how I do it, and trust me, I'm no expert, right? So, obviously, preparing fish for a show, it really does start months and months beforehand. Do you know what I mean? Like, the first thing you've got to do is get your pond running properly, because that pond needs to be fed a lot of food to get the body on these fish. Because you've got to remember, you've got to get maximum body on these fish, because that's the biggest score on the sheets, is like the volume of the body, right? So you work on that all the way through the year, and that is heat and it's good food, right? And you just keep it going and you keep it going, and you just try to forget about things and you hope you don't get any problems, all right? And then when you come closer to the shows, let's just see. So, and you've got lots of food. You've got like color food and all that kind of stuff. I tried a little bit of color food last year, but it was too close to one of the shows. And I don't particularly think that you need, no, not color food, white food. Sorry, like for like pure whites and all that kind of stuff. I don't think that's needed, because if you buy the right fish for the show, that white enhancing food is going to make such a minimal difference to something that's already got amazing seroji. You don't need it, right? That's my opinion. I just think it's something that's sold that you don't really need. Color food, with the spirulina and all in it, I think is a necessity. So Okay, so so obviously all the way through the year I hammer the fish with food as much as I can get into them, and that depends on how much the pond can cope with without making the pond an ill environment for the fish to live in, right? And that's training your pond anyway. So you can't just do that. You know, you have to train your pond to be able to like go up.
Get your
Like
filters.
at the moment, I haven't measured it, but I reckon I'm putting 1.75 kilos of food in a day. That's a lot of sake. Do you know what I mean? And there's only 20 fish in there. You know, biggest one is 62, smallest one's probably about 45, and they're going through it, so that it's getting in them, and their bodies are getting really good now. And the water is obviously it's stained a little bit, but it's still all good on all the different levels with the nitrates and all that, and nitrates and stuff like that. So when I'm about 2 months out from a show, then I start feeding them. So my food I'm feeding at the moment is obviously geared towards the show anyway. So I normally feed like 60% growth and 40% color. So that's what goes in all year round, right? When I come towards the shows, about 2 months out, I'll probably do 50-50 with color and growth, because I've got the body on the fish already. I just want to maintain it so I can come down on the growth a little bit, but enhance the color food to get that benny popping, right? But also that then will stain the head. It'll yellow the head up a little bit, and obviously it will stain a little bit the Suroji as well, okay? Now, we're not even talking about Sumi yet, right? So I'll do that then until about a month out from the show. So they've got a month on the heavier color. Month out for the show, I'll come off the color, and it is literally just growth then again, just to try to get a little bit more body. By a month out from the show, the fish should have the body that I'd want to have in the show, if you know what I mean, because it's been off the extra amount of growth, so it might have come down a little bit in size, but it's enhanced the benny. So then when I'm a month out from the show, it'll come just 100% growth off the color, and then that's going to condition the Suroji. But what that's going to do then is give it a bit more body, because what you've got to remember is a week out from the show, it's off everything. Right? So that body is going to shrink down, hopefully, to what it was the month before, where you wanted the body to be, right? And then when I'm off that for a 7-day period, I'll come down from 24 down to between 20 and 18. And in that period, that would pretty much enhance the Sumi then. The Sumi should solidify a little bit more. The staining should come off the head. You know, with the Suroji, that should fall into place. And the Benny is something that stays in condition for the longest. So you don't really have to worry about that once you've conditioned it about 2 months to a month away from the show. That's how I do it. I don't know if it's the right way to do it, but that's kind of it. I think it works okay. Yeah.
And are you feeding a mixture of floating and sinking with them?
Yeah, so that's what I do. So I'm getting loads and loads of issues with like ripped fins, because you imagine if you've only got floating and you've got these fish coming up, you've got their dorsal fin, right? And the front ray on their dorsal fin doesn't flex that way. It only flexes back. So when they're all coming up and then coming back, they're ripping everything to shreds. That's what you got. That is my logic with feeding about. So my mix I've got at the moment, right, is I would say 60% growth. And I reckon out of that 60%, I reckon 40% is floating and the other 20% is sinking. But the 20% that's sinking is probably the same value as the floating because it's denser. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense to you? There's more nutrients in it because it's a lot denser, and it's baked at a lower. The reason that the growth floating floats is because it's baked at a higher temperature, which aerates it, I guess, a little bit. And the other stuff is baked at a lower temperature, and that's why you've got more nutrients in it. So it's obviously, mate, if you could feed fish solely on sinking, it's the perfect thing because they feed from the ground anyway, don't they? Yeah. But unfortunately, Yeah, probably a majority of that would go down the drain. I've regulated that just enough because they mop the floor up before it gets anywhere near the drain, and then they're straight up then. But they come up way slower. It's
Because they've
spread
already
over a
had a
big
good feed off
area.
the bottom.
Yeah, and I don't get any problems. I haven't got a mark on anything in it at the moment. Not one, not a blemish. And then the yes, that's 60%, and then the 40% then is actually it's the small pellet small pellet color at the moment. Only because I had a load left from the Tozai, but yeah, 40% color then, and then probably about 1% of that. Of those silkworm larvae go in there as well.
Yeah.
They seem to like those. Mess
Yeah,
around with
they'll go a
those.
bit nuts for that, don't they? For
Yeah,
silkworm.
and that's all I do. I feed. I think the feed starts at 6. So 6, 8, 10, 12, 2, 4, 6, 8, and then they're off then for the food. But then there's about 1.75 kilos at the moment now. And then, but next year, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a book out of Kentro's book, a page out of Kentro's book from one of the videos I've seen where he fluctuates the temperature from 24 to 22 degrees. Have you seen that video?
No, I've got it to watch. I've just been telling Daz about it. I've got it to watch.
Yeah.
It's really
So that makes
supposed to be
total
quite
sense to
interesting.
me. Yeah, that makes total sense to me because I know quite obviously I know quite a lot about nutrients for myself, for like fitness wise. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, it makes total sense. So that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to keep them off the food then for 2 days on the weekend. I don't know if I can program my auto feeder for that. I think you can. I'll have to look into it, but yeah, feed them a bit harder through the week and then clear them out on the weekend.
Yeah.
So I might give them an extra feed every day during the week, which will fill in the gap then for the weekend, just to clear them out and see what happens, innit? And do that 2 weeks at 22, 2 weeks at 24, 2 weeks 22, 24, 22. Because obviously they gain weight when they think they're coming into autumn. Obviously, their body's gonna be tricked to storing that nutrients.
Mass.
Yeah, and then they'll get tricked, and then they'll come back to 24, and their body will naturally keep that. They're not going to lose it, but they'll keep feeding fine, and then 2 weeks later come down again, and it's going to be tricked again. Now, if you can do that multiple times all the way over your feeding regime through the summer, that's quite a lot of tricking to make them eating a lot of extra food and storing it. So, it could give you the edge,
Yeah. Worth a try, mate, isn't it? That's what that video is all about, isn't it? What he does with them throughout the season as he's growing them on.
That's
the
about
one I was telling you about.
gaining mass and growth, though, isn't it? Because if you keep them at 28, you can get them to grow a lot faster, but they just start slimming down. You just can't get the mass on them.
Yeah.
You can do the same thing with the photo period, the light level, dropping the light level to thinking, because that's more important than the temperature, to thinking coming into autumn or coming into spring or whatever. So the increase in day length or decrease in day length.
Yeah, that's a really good idea.
And obviously that's a lot cheaper to adjust the lighting than the heating potentially. There's all sorts in it. That's the beauty of it. You can play with the food, you can play with the light, you can play with the temperature to create a regime where you'll make the best with the worst.
Yeah, but that's totally right. You just said that there about the lights are. Obviously we've got a really short day at the moment, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And I am looking for some really good lights for the pond, because I know obviously when you've got like I don't know, aquascaping tanks and all this kind of stuff, you can get these lights that come on gradually at 6 and they lighten up and then they come down.
Sunrise and a sunset.
Sunrise and sunset, yeah. So what I'd really like to do when I redo all the the roof and stuff is put 2 of those, because the light I've got in there at the moment, everyone always asks me, where'd you get that light from? It's just a cheap, it's like a 500 watt LED thing. It's probably not on the right spectrum for the koi at all. So it's not doing anything apart from letting me see what I'm doing. Do you know what I mean? But I'd like to install 2 really good lights for exactly what you were saying there, to extend their feeding daylight hours, and to make everything as stable as I can. And talking about stability as well, I'm still trying to work out how to keep my pH fucking stable. But there we are. I use so much bicarb now. It's like insane.
Is your tank
At least a mug a day to keep it up.
Shit.
Yeah.
You know, because the more I'm feeding,
That's
it's
because
just hammering
you've
it.
got your drum system running though as well, haven't you? That's constantly cycling and taking it out. You're topping it back up with your water, which has got a low KH level to it, and then your
Low,
pH
low.
drops.
So yeah, so but my trickle in, you know, oh Ricky's not watching or Ryan, but my trickle in is flat out. It's like a hose flat out because my water's good. Because I was talking to Andy, you know, at Finch Filtration Systems, and he's like that. Yeah, just whack it in, pal. Just put it on because it'll do you two things. It will enhance your water, and it'll also keep my KH because obviously there's more going in. So my KH is 1.8 coming out of the tap. So the more I get going in, it's going to stop it from dropping so rapidly. You know. Ah,
Oyster shell as well.
crafty.
Somebody's just typed in
Crafty
there.
slugged
Oyster
in.
shell.
How good looking am I, mate, with this haircut? Look at that.
It is a joke. You are
Frightened
bloody
Daz off with that
gorgeous.
good.
Yeah.
Dropping
that-
in and out again, Daz, a couple of times.
Yeah.
Top Chagger's asked a question. Am I right? A Chag and a Kaku spell Achiba, or is that completely
It's
wrong?
Thorogoy.
I.e., spawning a Chag and a Chiba, does that make, sorry, Chag and a Kaku make an Achiba?
Stay there, guys.
Spawning potentially, but I don't know. Spell, definitely not. I don't know.
I've tended to cross with Chag with the Sorogoy to get a Chiba.
It's like anything. If you breed a Chiba with a Chiba, you get more Chiba. But
It depends on
to
the
create them in the first place, that's
Yeah.
kind of a road to go down, isn't it?
A Chagoi.
Yeah, I don't know.
Depends on the lineage, though, doesn't it? What's further back?
Do you think that's spell check going from spawn to spell?
Maybe. Yeah, I reckon.
I hope so. I don't know. But yeah,
So, yeah, I mean, don't know.
Actually, to be honest, I've got achievers from both of them. I've had them from Kahaku and Chagoy spawn, and Chagoy and Sorogoy spawn.
Yeah, I thought it was Chagoi
Yeah,
and Seragoi to make an Achiba.
generally it is, but it don't always work that way.
that's probably how you create stuff, isn't it? But to produce good ones, you just start with your product, don't you? It's a lot easier.
Yeah, yeah. It
Unless
is.
you've got
Sure.
something special. If you got a 120 centimeter chag, then and you want to create big Ochuba, but they go big anyway. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can do it.
Claude's asked, do people
It's
give
Chag and
pet names
Sorogoy
to the
guy.
koi? Do you give pet names to your koi, Lee?
It's actually
Me?
Chag
Well,
and
yeah, I've
Sorogoy.
got one that has
It is,
got a
isn't it,
name.
Crafty?
Yeah, Chagoi
Yeah.
and Seragoi. I thought it was. Sorry.
I've had
Lee.
the vast majority with Chagoy and Sorogoy of achievers, and I've had a small amount of achievers from the Kahaku spawn. So I would go Sorogoy.
There you go, mate. Claude's asked, do you give your koi names? Pet names. Do you have any pet names for your fish?
Bloody hell!
Yeah, I've got one. I got the he a series called Tony Montoya because Wolf was shooting him with an air gun. A water gun. Fucking air gun. Fucking hell. He's only 3.
God damn. I don't have with any of mine. No. Mine have all got the names of what type of mate they are. Breed. Whatever you want to
Make a model.
Make and model,
In
yeah.
fact, I offloaded a Ginnerin Kahaku to a really nice family not far away from me the weekend, and they said, "Oh, we're going to call it Lee," and I said, "Oh well, at least it's good looking."
Yeah, it's only got one eye and one fin, but it's
Yeah.
all right.
Be
Yeah,
dead within 6 months.
it didn't. I'm gutted. I sold it now, to be honest. But there we are.
You can only
Gotta make
keep
some
so
room.
many.
In
Well,
your
you need to
opinion,
pond
then,
that farm,
chaps, which is the best water testing equipment? I know we've had this before, but obviously Duke might not have heard it, or might not have heard or been present at the time. API, NT Labs, Columbo, or something else. What's your go-to pond test kits? I know you did try the Hannah Checkers, Lee, didn't you? And you didn't particularly.
Yeah, mate. Do you know what? you know, Hannah testers, I thought they were their way ahead. I bought all of them, you know, and you can do a test one after another with exactly the same water, and they came out different every single time. You may as well just kick them into touch. There's no point. Apart from the chlorine one is quite good. That's all right. But yeah, Colombo, lovely.
Yeah.
Colombo.
I use Colombo and Tetra. I've no problems
We
with
use
them.
Colombo and
Oh
Tetra.
yeah, Tatra one, they're good. Yeah, they're good. But you know what? They should like. The one thing I hate about these things is they come with so many bloody things. All I want is a massive bottle for like ammonia and a massive one for nitrate. The rest can piss off. You just
You
get
can't
loads of
buy
them,
them.
yeah.
You can't buy them like that. You don't
Yeah,
have to buy the big
you
box.
can you?
Yeah.
Oh, mate, send me a link. Find me on Facebook.
I'll send you a link
NT
for
Labs
it, yeah.
just
You
released a new one.
can get the refill ones, which are just the small ones, just to top your kits back up. But you can buy them in a bigger bottle, yeah.
Oh, can you? Oh, mate, it does my head in the little ones. But saying that, I can't. 6 months ago, I checked my water, I think.
You don't need a big bottle then, do you?
No, not really. No, literally.
fine
But
with a
the
little
best thing for water. Okay, so yeah, you don't have to check your water if the pond's running properly and you've got a Blue Lab Guardian. You can see your pH and if you can see your pH and your temperature, you don't really need anything else, I don't think. Because when you know your pond, that's all you need to know, really, and you can just look at your fish. You go, have I got any ammonia? Fish are lovely. Nah. Do you think that's it, really? But it's obviously that's an experience thing, isn't it?
But Lee, you know your KH levels where your pH swings are, don't you?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and
Obviously, when you
is
start off,
quite
of course,
important.
you need these things, but like eventually, you know, upon running for 12 months, you should be diligent enough to be able to work things out quite well then.
100%.
Mm.
100%.
Comes with time and experience and getting to know it, doesn't it?
Yeah,
I mean,
it does, yeah.
At the shop, I'll drop in what's available on the shelves now. NT Labs have just released a small version water test kit that covers ammonia, nitrite, and pH. So they're even
that's good.
more. I think they're about 16 quid for the free. Don't quote me on the price. So my go-to is the Colombo kit. They also sell refills on them. And the reason why I like them better than the NT Labs ones is they come with a real decent how-to card. So on the back, it gives you the instructions on how to use it. When you flip it over, the colour guide is by far better than NT Labs. So the NT Labs one's on the back of the actual box. And if you keep that box and it gets a little bit faded in the sunlight or whatever, it gives you false readings.
Mm.
So it's harder to match up. But what I've just bought in, there's a new JBL one. So I've just bought 2 in for the shop just to try them out and test them to see how they go. And they come really well equipped, actually. So they only come in today, so I'll be using them going forward.
Which is the mate, the first test kit I ever bought, right? I don't know what brand it is, but I think for the KH, I think it was for the KH or the GH, it comes with like little stupid crystals and a little
That's
spoon.
the only thing that put me off the Colombo one. Is a tiny little salt spoon.
Is that the
for
Colombo one?
Little crystals that you scoop out. I'm sure it's the Colombo
Mate, how
one.
is that accurate?
We've got little drop testers for the Colombo.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
not the
I don't think
Colombo?
it's
There is
Colombo,
one that's
Gaz. I
got
think it's
tiny
something
little
else.
salt spoon in it. You got to scoop them out with, haven't you? Put a little bit into it, but I'm not sure which test kit that is.
Tetra used to
Yeah.
do that, nitrates.
Yes.
Oh, I hated that one. That one just like fried my brain because I'm solid. I was like, what is going on there?
Nitrates is not really. Yeah.
Yeah, nitrate can do what I'm not interested in that.
What's
There you go.
the main difference between a Benny guy and a Matsuba? LOL, Aaron. Chris,
The black
question
scales,
from,
mainly.
Shade on the back.
Budget Pond Keeper, because of Aaron's fish. That was a substitute Benny guy. Claude's put in there best pond thermometer. Inkbird with inside monitor. Any recommendations? Best pond monitor. A thermometer, should I say?
Thermometer.
To be fair, with thermometers, I don't really seem to matter what if you buy an expensive handheld one, but you can just point at it, or if you buy one that drops in pond, or if you buy a cheap one, they all seem to be within 1 point odd degrees of each other, or 0.5 degrees of each other.
Here's one thing, guys. If everyone's on about thermometers, well, there's only one person there, but in Japan, right? All the breeders use this same brand that just plops in the pond, right? I can bring some back.
Analog one, just drop it in.
We use those swimming pool ones.
Yeah, it's just an old school one. Drop it in, but it's like all the breeders use it. Do you know what I mean? It is the universal one. You know, it's like the Matsuda nets. You know, it's like they know it works and they know it lasts forever, and they just buy those. You know, it's like a proper farm thing. You know. So I'll see if I can get some of those, and I might make some available when I come back from. I'll probably get bloody arrested for bringing over thermometers or something. Now.
If you struggle with blanket weed, though, they can get quite infested with it.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, that's the only downside to one that's a floating one in your pond. They do become green, don't they, quite quickly? You want one that's where your readings are on the outside of the case, where the glass tube's on the inside, so you can clean the glass tube and see where they are without taking out the colour or scraping them off. Last one I got one's a pretty good, just float on pond one, but I mean, it looks pretty accurate when I compare it to the 2 digital ones that I've got. So
the JBL auto feeder comes with a pond thermometer dip as well,
like a probe that just drops into water with it.
I just dropped that down the side, and I bought a cheap one from Amazon for about £3.50. That you just drop in.
Just drop it straight in again.
And it's a digital readout. Don't keep it outside, but just drop it in when you want to use it. And they're quite instant. It's a thermometer, you know.
Yeah.
There's nothing special about them.
I don't think anyone's like exactly, because I can remember once I had an ink bird in. I had a Blue Lab Guardian in, and I had one of those floating ones in, and not one of them registered the same temperature. Exactly, do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
They're all close.
They're half a degree or so out each of them, aren't they?
Yeah, they're not. None of them are, bang on.
Bang on.
You know what I mean? Well, this is the best one. That's 24.
Warm enough. Yeah.
Yeah. But,
it doesn't matter. I don't get. At the end of the day,
I don't think it does matter. I don't think it does matter. I think when you go down to your pond and your pond is at 18, and you go down the next thing is at 18, and you go down as 18, as long as it's stable, that's all that matters. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as your fish are healthy and they're within that range of temperature that you're wanting to keep them at, if you're keeping them heated, then jobs are good, isn't it? Really.
Yeah.
Most of us can't change it anyway, can we? It's colder than the one.
No. It's cold.
That's it. I can't.
It's cold outside. My water's cold, and that's it. Fish are gonna have to wriggle up and get used to it. Suck it up. It'd be nice to have them at 24 degrees all year round, wouldn't it? But
no, it's not. Costs a bloody bomb. That's why I've got to sell 4 of them. I got to sell 4 to keep the other 16 hot.
Your fish on then. It's just to pay for your lecky bill.
Yeah, I got to sell 4 of them to keep the other 16 hot until the shows.
Do you use air source heat pump or boiler?
Air source, yeah. A crystal air source. I bought it through lockdown off Tim at Quality Initiative Guy. It's good, actually, to be honest. To be honest, it did. When I first plumbed it in, it had a problem. I'd like to blame the air source. Oh, I hope Tim's not watching this. I'd like to blame the air source heat pump for it, but when I took it home, I had to slam the brakes on in the van, and it sort of like fell over flat onto a soft kind of floor in the van. But when I was plumbing it in and it wasn't working, it turned out that on the circuit board on the top, one of the plugs had sort of like come loose. So I don't know whether it was that impact that had dislodged it, or whether it was just a Chinese hand that hadn't put it in properly. I don't know. Do you know what I mean? So I can't blame anyone, but possibly I'll own it. It might have been me, but it got rectified, and since then it's not dropped a beat. It does. It's a 17 foot. It's a 17 point. This is quite interesting for people actually. So I got 5,000 gallons. It's 17.5 kilowatt air source heat pump, and it will keep it at 24 degrees easily as long as you're above minus temperatures. When you go into like 1 or minus temperatures, then it will drop down. It's been as low in the last cold spell to 21 degrees, which I don't mind because obviously it's going down really slow. The fish don't really care, and then it kicks back up. Hey, we're doing the Sakai fish farm up and down, aren't we, already? So it's okay.
Have you got it sighted outside of your cabinet then?
Yeah, it's outside of the pond, it is.
So what we do is sometimes run them inside, so it's drawing air from the warmer air
The
from
hot
inside
air.
and the cold air out, and they run much more efficiently.
Yeah, do you know what I actually thought? And Ant will justify this. So when I was having loads of problem with condensation in the pond, what I was going to do, and I think what I'm going to do on the new, when I do the new roof, is I was going to put a extraction fan, pulling the moist air out of the koi pond, right, and distributing it towards the back of the air source heat pump. Does that make sense? So that you've got that warm air pushing through into the air source heat pump.
Yeah.
But in the end, I went down the route of 2 dehumidifiers, which also cost me a bomb.
Oh, God.
More pumps, the better.
If you put the dehumidifier, so it's drawing air from your enclosed fish house,
Yeah,
so it's drawing warm air, it was so much more efficient.
that's what I might do. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, you're 100% right. But that was like if I'm pulling out with the extraction, or maybe you mean put the back of the air source heat pump
We rig them up so the air that's being drawn in, so it's incorporated into your build almost. So it's drawing
and just
the warm
the outlet
air
is
and the cold air out, and it's then just running much more.
Yeah. Do you know what? I was watching one of Tim's from Quality Nishnagoy's videos the other day. The last one he was on about with the Japan trip, and I noticed his was like that, and I was thinking to myself, cunning.
Yeah, cunning plan.
Cunning plan.
It's running lovely. I'm
Yeah,
getting
that
17
might
kilo.
be Yeah, I might have a space for that. Watch his space.
But yeah, at the end of the day, it's drawing, if it's drawing
Yeah.
15-degree air in, it's going to run much more efficiently than it would be.
And I suppose it's going to take the moisture out as well. So that's win-win. Oh
Couldn't
God,
you
I've got a
incorporate
tiny
that, Lee,
peduncle on
when
the
you
go.
bringing the front out to give you a little bit of an area by building it into the...
Yeah, you're absolutely right. That's probably what I'm going
there.
to do now. Yeah.
You could leave it in
Yeah.
situ where it is, but just bring it in and vent it out. From
Yeah,
that.
100%. Yeah. I really want some tropical plants in there as well. You see, make it into sort of a slight Amazonia feel, so I can run around with a loincloth on and pretend I'm Tarzan.
There's a problem
Need
though,
a
you've got
rope
no
swing on
light.
as well.
If you haven't got the light, they're not going to grow.
Who's that? Alan Tate. Answer it.
Eric,
Why isn't he on?
Eric Gorman says if you put air source heat pump inside, it will affect the warranty.
Well, he's already crashed the van. The warranty's gone. He told us
Yeah,
on the line.
no, mate, I have let the cat out of the bag now. Yeah, sorry, Crystal.
And he also said, Lee, just plug it into your sister's house like a...
Mate, don't. I have already. I might just put a log burner in there from now on. In fact, is my log burner? Yeah, still going.
Yeah. You think that's... We've got log burners in our fish, some of our fish houses.
Really?
Yeah. Run on heat exchangers.
Carlos is asking.
Load them up. Off you go.
Mate, it's horrible. Do you know what, right? If you think about it, it would drive you mad as a koi keeper, right? Because I've got, 3 water pumps, an air source heat pump, couple of dehumidifiers, couple of UVs, air pumps, and they're going every single minute of the day for the last 3 years. Oh, mate, it's horrible. When you think of that slowly building up your electricity bill,
I don't
you've
reckon
got
that's
to
slow,
sell
Eric.
fish.
Your meter's whizzing around like that, mate. I don't think that's doing anything slow.
Mate, I've got a smart meter here, but I've just pulled it out. That's gone. Boom, I've chucked it away. I didn't even want to look at it.
Don't look.
No, it's horrible, isn't it? I don't mind the massive bill at the end of the month, but when you're looking at when you come home from work every single day, 25 quid. What? It's gutting.
Yeah.
Quick question for you,
It's
Daz.
quite an expensive hobby, mate, when you get stupid about it.
When you get stupid about it,
well,
yeah.
on your level that you've gone to and what you did and what you built and the pond. I'm not meaning you've done anything stupid. I mean the level that you did. You built that pond, didn't you? And then you put that tank bit, extra bit on the end with another window, tiled it all out, and then you went, you know what? I'm going to build a massive pond and put the other one on. And in between that, you had 2 grow-ons at the bottom. Scrap them on and redid them. But to do what you want it to do and to get it how you want it to be, that's not cheap, mate, is it? It's not, and I'm not.
It's not.
I'm not asking for figures, but it's an expensive hobby when you go into it. But if you want to get into it in a big way, that's what you've got to do, innit? Oh, that's his power cut.
It's stand out, done.
It's gone.
You got another 50p in the meter, isn't it?
His missus just walked in and said, "You've got how many things running in there?" And just flicked light off. I left him in dark.
Man gone.
Right.
Well, hopefully. His camera, what you done, Lee? That's it, keep flicking stuff. I think your phone's just gone into standby mode. Oh, that's really stood it by. Anybody been
as well?
Anybody
He's
been
got I'm
to
going.
Germany koi dealers? No.
No.
I've not, mate, no. Eric just says that his sister cut him off. She's just pulled plug on him. Quick question for you then, Daz. Chris Taylor's asked, quick question for Daz and Vicky. Not koi related, but do you think axolotls lose their filaments with age on the gills? Cannot find anything anywhere, but no older axolotls seem to have smooth gills and not fluffy ones like the younger ones would have.
Yeah, it is. I mean, we're discussing this earlier, me and Vicky, and yeah, it is a thing when they get older. There's a hormone in the axolotls that sort of depletes with age, and that controls the level of regeneration. So younger axolotls can regenerate the limbs a lot better than older axolotls and the gill filaments and all the other parts of the body. Generally, it's normally about 4 times they can regenerate a limb. After that, they struggle. They might produce part of a limb, or sometimes they can produce 2 arms out the same sort of socket. It gets right weird stuff happening with them, yeah. But yeah, generally it's age related. Yeah, the older they are, the harder it is for them to fully regenerate things. And the gill filaments do tend to get chomped off by other axolotls.
Was that your sister just pulling the plug on you, Lee?
No, it wasn't, mate. It was an annoying phone call. I didn't know a phone call would just log you straight out.
Yeah, it does. It turns your screen blank. Yeah, Daz has done that to you a few times, doesn't it? Chris Taylor says, thanks, guys and Daz, for that. Next one is, from Chris. If a koi gets egged up this year, am I sure, as I'm sure they did last year, am I best sedating the koi, trying to strip them out, or throwing some spawning brushes in? Best options, please. I think one of my fish last year, mate, got, well, we're pretty sure it did, didn't we, Dad? Dad. God damn, sorry, Daz. Daz. That, Makikikuru.
Yeah.
Makinkikikuru. That one looked like it filled up a lot with egg on it, but didn't spawn. And there's males in there, so they could have had a go if they wanted to. But she definitely absorbed them back up because she slimmed right back down again. But I'll ask Rick when he gets back, mate, same question. But for me, I would say leave well alone. If
it's a bit
if they're going to go, they're going to go. If they're going to spawn, whether brushes are in there or not, mate, they'll still spawn. If they've not got out to spawn up against, they'll still spawn in your pond. Put some in if you want to collect any of them, but your fish are going to feast on them anyway. They're going to have you'll end up with a mass spawning if you've got more than 1 or 2 females in there that are ready to go at the same sort of time. Once one starts to kick off, they all tend to start to go for it. And then you've got eggs everywhere in your filter system and all job lot. But I wouldn't start stripping a female fish just because she's got spawn in her.
That's last
you strip. If you go down that road, you roll the dice of killing your fish.
Yeah.
Because if you don't milk all the eggs out of them, that fish can pretty much turn nasty and just die.
Rot inside her. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't just if a fish is carrying and it don't spawn, you know, it's not necessarily going to be what they call egg bound. It will just sit and carry, you know.
Yeah. Egg bound normally tends to mean when the fish goes through the motion of spawning and they can't release them, doesn't it?
That's right. Yeah. So it's
They can still carry spawn and get ready for going into. See, they'll start getting ready for spawning last season in preparation for spring.
that's
And
right.
the eggs are all carried inside the body, and then they absorb the moisture or absorb water into them. They swell up and then they spawn, don't they? Something along that, sort of like.
They do seem to swell up or plump up a week or two before they're ready to
That's where they
actually
go.
spawn.
But they're holding those eggs well
For
prior to
years.
that. They don't just make them
Yeah.
in that last
Oh, yeah.
week, do they?
I mean,
it's a period
I
of
keep
goes
all
on
my
for a while.
females separate in the top pond, and I'll only pick so many females out of that pond to spawn. But the other females in there, they're all full of eggs. They don't die, or there's nothing bad happens to them. They'll just hang on to the eggs the following year or reabsorb them.
I mean, Rick's obviously the expert on that, but a fish that's egg bound is a fish that can't basically spawn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's got no
I think
reproductive organs, basically.
A big misconception between very rarely a fish ever egg bound. They're much more that they've got tumours growing.
Yeah.
They look like
That stops it.
Yeah.
They look huge, don't they? Normally, they're like they're going to explode.
It's yeah. We've had fish carry eggs for 10 years, and then think actually, let's use that fish. 24 hours later, we can spawn it. Literally, those eggs. You know, it's just cells in the body that they'll carry. Yeah, you think of the good showfish; they're in condition carrying eggs for year after year after year until such conditions are they spawn or not spawn. Yeah,
There is that misconception where when a fish lays quite heavy, that they are egg bound, and they're generally not. They're just heavily laden. You know, it's
It's just said there again. And what if it becomes plumper and plumper? Then
yeah. Normally that's a tumour. There's something growing.
Yeah.
It's just not, it's not the because the ovaries basically grow in long lines through the body cavity.
Yeah.
So you get nice even fullness to body. If you've got a fish that's just getting really big down the back end, it's normally because someone else has gone wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, last year I had my fish spawn on 3 separate occasions. It done me head in. Water all over the place every time.
He's
Yeah,
getting
there's
legal
eggs everywhere in your
organised.
filter system.
Oh, mate.
See,
yeah,
I've only ever had my goldfish, shabubkins. They spawned in my pond with everything else. They just went one morning. I came out and they were spawning, and the minute that the female ran in and the 2 males came in behind her, the koi just come straight in afterwards, collecting everything and just munched the lot. All gone, everything. So that one's looking like it's ready to spawn.
Having a rugby.
Yeah,
Loving it,
talking
well.
about spawning. Anybody want to whip it? Get off me, you dirty dog. Stop talking about spawning. My whippet's got a right horn on.
Rocket Boy is asking there, Koi Karma, Lee, are you looking forward to Japan or are you looking forward to anything special?
Looking for anything special.
I'm looking for anything in the night life of Naga. No, I'm joking. Of course, I'm looking forward to Japan. It's absolutely incredible. Not looking forward to the flight. Looking forward to the Shinkansen. Looking forward to seeing my mates over there. Looking forward to see Haka Chaka Wee. Looking forward, it's just amazing. It's just lovely. You know what I mean? Not looking forward to not being able to afford the koi I want to buy, but the food, the company, the environment. Do you know what? I'm looking forward to learning more. That's all I want to go there for. Is I got 2 weeks now in February. I got 2 weeks in April, and I got 6 weeks in October. Let's go. I am going to be
Hardcore.
turning Japanese.
You have one eye like that, mate, when you come back.
Yeah, exactly. I got
Can't
the
say
first
that
name
anymore,
for it
Crafty.
anyway.
You what, mate?
You can't say that anymore.
Oh, fuck
You're one of
you.
those old jokes,
What-
isn't it?
Yeah, but yeah, I'm just loving it. Like, do you mean I'm oh, I don't know. I just want to absorb everything I can, and like, you know, it's like when you try to learn Spanish. You can go to like the local school and learn it once a week. Yeah, that's fine. but when you're chucked into the mix, you learn it pretty quick. Do you know what I mean? And it's just great, mate. It's just like living it. You got, it's like 2 weeks in Japan is like 2 years as a hobbyist or more, maybe more. I don't know. It's really impressive, you know, just sitting down and listening and watching and really not being silly, taking it all in, everything in, and imbibing it into your cognitive coy mind.
Are they forthcoming with the information then?
Pardon?
Are they forthcoming with the information? Are they prepared to share a lot? Or
Yeah,
you
they
got to
are.
get in
Mate,
there a
if
little
you-
bit more first.
Listen, Gaz, imagine you are a top Kawaku breeder in the mountains of Nagaoka, right? You've never ever come across a gaijin like me, which means foreigner in Japanese, right? I walk in with my man car buzzing away. Now, let me just educate you to what the meaning of car is in the Japanese language. It means mosquito. Now, I've got an incredible gift where I can put my balls on top of my penis and make it look like a mosquito. And when I run through a koi house to every breeder and go buzz, they love it. And they'll tell me anything. They are putty in my hands.
And so that's the secret, is it?
Well,
The secret is be yourself.
yeah.
And they'll love it, mate. You can't go there being a stiff, mate. Mate, they really, mate. The Japanese people are amazing. They have got such an amazing sense of humor. It's so dark and perverted and comical. It's amazing. But when people go over there, probably from Britain, they're really nervous because they're meeting like all of their most like, you know, it's like meeting Eric Cantona. That's a footballer, isn't it? Like, you know, if you love football, right? But like, to people that love the koi hobby, when you go and you bump into Hoshokai or Hoshikin or all of these people, they're really like
Down to
withdrawn,
earth.
you know. But like when I go in there with my penis out and my balls on top of it, they spit their warm tea out and they love it and they go, "Oh, you're cool. Do you fancy a kajaku, pal?" Do you know what I mean?
Icebreaker.
And
It's an
are you
icebreaker, mate, and they
Oh,
are
oh.
amazing people.
I will vouch for Lee because I know he done it.
Oh, mate, they love the car. Mate, I went, so towards the end of my last trip, I went through a whole black Sharpie because every time I got out of the shower in the morning, I'd pre-draw the eyes on my balls.
Oh my God.
So when I done the car, it'd have the balls and the goggly eyes on the top of it like that. They'd love it. Yeah.
And how'd you get on the skinny boardwalks going down the ponds?
Oh, yeah, mate. Do you know I've got quite a good. Even you know, my balance is okay, but you know what the hardest thing? You know, when you're filming and you're looking at your phone, you're trying to film. I've had a couple of times. Do you know what I mean? I'll be honest with you. I'm gutted you've said that now because I know this is the time I'm going to fucking fall in the pond. I know it will be now.
Crafter, are you and Lee going together?
No, mate, no.
Oh, you know what I'm going to say.
Fuck that, mate. It's
You're going to get banged up.
recording the fucking fish houses. No doubt we're going to bump into each other because
Same time then, yeah.
I think
We're
we're
in
in the
the
same
same
hotel. So
Oh, we're in the new Otani. Yeah.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
where I'm
do it.
going.
We're over there around about the same time, so I'll show him the best karaoke bars.
Get him slaughtered. He won't buy
It's
nothing.
quite, that's one thing that a lot of them are quite into, aren't they? Some big major koi
Look.
farmers are into DJing and karaoke and all sorts. I mean,
Yeah.
Karaoke, mate. Honestly,
They love
mate.
it, don't
When
they?
I'm over there, I get dragged out to the karaoke bars, right, by these breeders and stuff. And the thing is, mate, you know, I'm pretty tone deaf, mate. I've not got a good voice, but as long as you can read and you can sing in English, they think you're Ricky Martin, mate. Honestly, because you're singing the words, and they're like, "Wow, this guy is John Legend." Is that his name? Or something like that. Do you know what I mean?
Gangnam
Like
Style.
they love it.
Look at that.
They're all like,
comment.
"Sweet, woo, encore."
The sort of thing you wouldn't be able to unsee. The description is bad enough.
Yeah, you don't understand.
100%,
I've
man.
seen it. In fact, I've got a video of it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
don't
do
say
some
that one.
videos.
Keep that one.
I'll make sure I put the karaoke on this time. I
I
promise
think
you.
you should do that on your channel.
Yeah, yeah,
Be
yeah.
a right
No, I
laugh.
promise you.
You get plenty
We'll
of
do the
views.
karaoke koi challenge.
Oh, dear me. Right, Deborah King's bought a fish as a torsai. First pictures for breeder, it's case eye. Within 6 months, it's lost all its colour completely. Second picture, a fella wants to get rid of the fish. I want to keep it in case the colour comes back. As everyone now and again, it gets random small patches of colour, but it never stays. What's the chance as it gets older that it will ever return to its former glory? I'll share the pictures so that we can.
What sort of fish is it?
We see the pictures.
Well, this is going to be surprising because it's
A
not.
haku.
Well, yeah, like I said, it's not what I expected to see. So we've got what was an achiever,
Shirabuti.
and now it's become that. What is the
Deutsch
chances
Saragoi.
of that developing any more of the autumn leaf colouring back
Pretty slim.
on said Deutsch achiever?
Very little. Certainly not of
So I
a
hope
decent.
you enjoy your silver fish.
Yeah,
Yes.
but it's not. If it's a nice Deutsch Saragoi, but if you got no space,
Yeah.
then
If you're not
move on.
wanting to keep a Deutsch
I like
Saragoi.
it.
Yeah, I suppose that's
That's-
what it is, isn't
that's
it, really?
right.
It's become a Deutsch Saragoi. Vince had
Yeah.
one that did that. He had an achiever that turned into his Ginrin Saragoi that he's got. That was an achiever originally, wasn't it? And that's now become an absolutely beautiful Ginrin Saragoi. So
Which is all right,
absolutely
that's what you
zero
wanted.
chance then. Sorry, Deborah. Zero chance.
Send it on its way.
Send
I'm
it
not,
or
gonna,
enjoy it as it is.
I'm not very knowledgeable of achievers, so I wouldn't really. Yeah, I've had a couple of saying that I've had so about 2 years ago I went down to Koi Water Barn and I picked out on one of my videos. I picked out I think 15 Sakai
I remember.
Sakai
when you-
Kawaku. I kept
Yeah.
one, and it was incredible. The body was amazing, and I was going to take it to the National Koi Show. About 3 weeks before that, all the belly came off the head. The lot, didn't it, Crafty?
Yeah, man.
I was
I
chinned.
remember
I was
those.
gutted. I was like that. What the hell, mate?
Those ones
Mad
you
how it
picked
could
out,
just
the little
happen.
toe size, weren't they?
They
Yeah.
were tiny, but at
Yeah.
the time when it, like the National last year, it was about 50 HCM.
Yeah, that was about 8 to 12, weren't they, Lee, when we
Yeah.
picked?
Yeah, something like that. Oh, no. This was the year before your year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there was
So
the
this
ones
is
that
the
you,
year
the
before
first
I
grow
went there.
ones that you got, wasn't it, for when you first made that bottom grow one,
Well,
before you had the
that's
stainless
right,
steel
yeah.
shower on it.
Yeah, and that was the last one I kept because the body was outrageous on it. And yeah, I just watched it every single day, just all coming off. And I was like, that is bonkers. Unbelievable. I don't know if it was a parasite or anything like that could have caused that, but gone.
Genetics, isn't it?
Can't really say it's
Mad.
bad genetics, though, can you? This is the best
Pardon?
farm in the world. You can't say it's bad genetics.
say-
It's the best farm in the world, isn't it?
Exactly. So
It comes
there's
from
no
me.
way I can blame the Sakai fish farm. No way. There must have been. I don't know. I
Did it
haven't got
fully
a clue.
drop off, or did you
It
get
does
rid?
happen, though. I'm not
Gone,
being funny.
mate, gone.
It happens.
Gone.
Yeah.
It can be anything, kind of stress related, heat related, a mixture of both. Oh, you have there's loads. I mean, you see it when you bring the fish over. You out of the Momotaro lot, we ended up with about 9 Shiramujis, like, and that you just seen. Well, one fish was a customer's, and it just slowly started to disappear. There's nothing you can do about it. It just happened.
But it does happen. That's the thing. You don't see hundreds of amazing 50-year-old kahakus, do you?
No.
What happened to them? They're not amazing
You
anymore.
don't see many 50-year-old anythings, to be fair, do you?
Don't.
You should
how
come
old
down
are you?
Bournemouth, mate. You should come down Bournemouth. There's
No, I
plenty,
know Bournemouth. well, mate. It's an
What's
old
that?
thinking patch of mine, Bournemouth.
there's plenty of 50-year-olds in Bournemouth.
Yeah, but nothing good.
I got a question from Nick. When we were talking about having a 10,000 and 20,000 gallon pond, I think Daz, I think you touched on this, like talking about when you're treating for parasites and such, having such a large volume of water is expensive to treat. And now reducing the volume of water so you can treat your fish and then increasing your volume of water back again. He's put on there. Also, going back to the previous videos about parasites not living out of water, could one assume that if you had a 10,000 to 20,000 gallon pond, if you drained down to 2,000 gallon and ensured that it was fully dried, then could treat the less treatment just a thought? That's what you said, didn't it? That's what you were on about the other week when we were talking about treatments being kind of costly, expensive.
But just remember to keep your
As long
pump
as you've
system
got enough
running.
volume of water for your fish to be able to still exist in there, and if you wanted to knock the feed off while you were treating them through it, so that you didn't have your filter system.
You still have to have your filter circulating there, so it takes the treatment through all your filter system.
So it's definitely a doable thing. It's something
to
that
refill
can reduce
8,000 gallons of water. Surely that's going to cost as much as the treatment, isn't it? Just treat the
Well,
pond.
it depends if you're paying for water. If you're not on a water meter, then it ain't going to cost you anything, is it?
a hell of a lot cheaper to do it that way than putting it down. But you still need a decent enough amount of water to make sure your fish can still survive in it good enough. Because if you've got 25 fish in 20,000 litres, and you reduce it down to 2,000 litres, and you've got 25 fish in there, they ain't going to enjoy it, are they? You're going to end up with polluted water rapid. So
the person that's got 20,000 gallon, they need to become quite a master at using PP. Because it's the cheapest.
of
most
using
PP.
PP,
Yeah, it's the cheapest, and for those people that get good at it, I think you probably only use that, Lee. Now, am I right?
That's all I use, mate. Yeah.
You can pretty much stay on top of. You've got to experiment a little bit, and it's hard to give the advice because of what it is, and every pond's different. But I know that PP is the way ahead for most things. If you can get even fluke, you can get down on it.
yeah.
With the exception of the white spot.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say. So that white spot, I had to buy a treatment, but I don't use nothing apart from PP now. I'll make a paste for like a really localized thing that I need to treat. Maybe I'll do a PP bath, and I'll just I know the limits now with the temperature, different temperatures in my pond, and you'd be surprised you can make a decent PP soup, and those fish are still feeding through it as well.
But it's dodgy for those people.
PP soup.
For those
Yeah,
people,
you can. Not being nasty, man. Not trying to be nasty to the fish, but again, when you treat something, just hit it and get out, and then leave them thrive again. There's no point messing around.
I suppose in that sense, it's better to hit it hard once
Yeah.
than to keep going back week in, week out with treatment after treatment, trying something else. It's one shock treatment.
Yeah.
Or one stress event, as opposed to 5 or 6.
Yeah, you got to be
7,
careful
8.
with that, because you do that with formalin, you're in a bad place.
You're
You
in
do
a
it with
rubbish
other
heap.
treatments, you're in a bad place. So some you can get away with stronger treatments, some you won't.
This is just what Chris put in there has just made me think of a question somebody asked me earlier today as well. It was right. Very true, Rick. But if you're on a water meter, now then, does anybody know if you're on a water meter, can you have a water meter moved to go back to a normal rates? No. There you go, there, right. If you're watching, mate, I didn't think you could do. I'm pretty sure that you couldn't remove it.
Yeah, you're right. I'm not on a water meter here, and I wouldn't have a clue. I think I pay £500 a year for my water bill, and that's it.
But
So
if you're on a
I
meter,
don't know how much water costs. I haven't got a clue.
If you're on a meter, you pay not only for the water you use, you pay for the sewage for the
Water
water
that
you
you're
use.
taking away for your sewage as well.
So if you're
Really?
putting 8,000 gallons in a pond, you're paying for 8,000 gallons of sewage. as
Oh,
well.
really? So they assume that the water you're using is going down the sewers.
Yeah, you
Right,
can actually claim.
Yeah, there is something you can do with that, isn't there? You can get some of it back as a percentage.
That's right, because James Coimus had done that.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
On one of his videos. He had to get someone out and calculate it.
Especially
But I'm
with
super lucky here, yeah.
with his flush out system. That's why he put the soak away in, wasn't it? So that he could say that his water were going away to a soak away through a filtration system first before it went into ground, so that he didn't have to pay for, but it had to be something like 5.6 meters or 6 meters away from his house before he could put it in. I'm sure it was something
Well
like
over
that.
engineered, though, to be fair.
Yeah.
well.
How much is a water meter then? Obviously, it must vary around the country, but like, how much is it? I've got a clue.
No. Oh, that's the only reason why I didn't think you could was because all new builds now, every house that I work in, every single
You
one
have
of
to
them,
have a water meter.
they all have water meters in every one of them. It's not a choice. They just fit the standard.
Yeah.
They've got a scheme out at the minute where they want to upgrade everybody to metering. So, you know, the people like out in East Anglia, they have two bills. They have a drinking water and a sewerage because two different companies supply them. So it's a pain.
We do, yeah.
You do as well.
But you pay. It's all metered, so you pay for whatever it is, 20p a cubic meter coming in, but then you pay another 40p a cubic meter going out, or whatever it is, and
Wow.
Goddamn expensive then when it comes to
I don't know. I don't know the cost. I should know.
I know who does. Andy Finch has done a lot of work on that. I spoke to him a couple of weeks ago, and he was talking about it.
But yeah, it will. It certainly adds up. And if you can't get away with your dumping the water, you're paying twice, aren't you?
Yeah.
So it's got to be an expensive treatment to warrant that.
I know it's. I pay 100. There you go. Chris Taylor says I pay £140 per month just for water.
Wow.
A&C, we pay $59 a month on a water meter.
59 a
Big
month.
difference to Chris then, isn't it? God damn.
So £59 a month. I'll have to work out how much my pond cost me in electric. Because I don't
water in Scotland.
Yeah, 12k a year for water in Scotland.
What are they doing? Big you bottle.
I'd definitely find a way of not filling my fucking pond up for that.
Mate, I'd be paying 12 grand for a borehole to be built.
That's ridiculous. Oh, there you go. Right, nice one. Cheers, mate.
In fact, if it was 12 grand a year for water for my pond, I think I'd end up buying detox and just filling it up with my pee every day.
I think if it was 12 grand a year for keeping water in a garden pond, I'd be packing and keeping water in a garden pond. Just saying, we could go around and appreciate everybody else's instead.
Recycling ozone, I guess. I think you'd probably consider, wouldn't you?
That's crap. It's free in Scotland.
Mate, in Scotland, I'm surprised they're not putting what do they drink when they're hungover in the morning? Iron brew.
Iron brew's nice.
It is lovely.
Iron brew with Scottish water, mate. That's all they drink.
That is it. No, Buckfast. You're wrong there, pal.
Yeah, you're right.
Simon,
it's mad, isn't it? Because they love Buckfast, which is made in Devon, the most southern state, pretty much, and they're going to ship it all the way up. That's where all the carbon monoxide's coming from. There's a Scottish drinking bloody Buckfast.
That's the cattle pond. That's for the cattle pond, right? So it costs 12k a year for the cattle pond. Jesus Christ, man!
A cattle pond? Can they swim?
Yeah, they got their own ponds.
They're called cattlefish, mate.
Amazing.
You get a liner in it, mate, so it doesn't evaporate out.
Yeah, I'm lucky.
There you go. Alan said in Scotland it's on your council tax.
Yeah, no, we definitely get billed separate per meter used, a standing charge, and the amount you use goes out. You get billed as sewerage, but you can apply for rebates if it's not going down sewerage. But yeah,
here's a topic of conversation. I'll just pass them over to you guys.
Can you just not pass it across the screen?
No, I can't do that. He needs to put it on the screen. Did I send it?
Can we show that what you just sent as well?
Yeah, if you want.
Have a look at this.
Is this the mosquito?
No, I wouldn't. That's far too triple X for this channel.
The mosquito is the one. I might do yeah. Maybe I'll start a Koi Soldier OnlyFans channel and I'll show you the car.
Look at this. This is nice.
You'll get subscribers as well.
Oh, lemon arawaki.
Was we having 11 Harawaki off?
Is
but that's not Harawaki.
Or is that... No, it's Kajaku.
What is it?
Oh, it's Kajaku.
Oh, there we are. It's not my cup of tea, so I wouldn't have a clue.
Not
Nice
your.
as that,
No,
though.
it's not, mate. You're right.
Nah, yeah, mate, I appreciate it, mate. Do you know what I mean? But I don't think it's.
That's
Yeah,
mint.
but loads of people love those. They are amazing looking koi. Do you know what I mean? You know, to imagine how they've had to go to breed that variety. That's what I think when I see all these things.
Look how clean round the nostrils that is.
Mm,
Beautiful.
Look at the zips, perfect as well, isn't it?
yeah.
It's lovely that.
You know,
What you
that's
need
in
is that-
Japan at the minute. That's coming back.
Be impressive, that would be an impressive fish to see that at 70, 80 cm, wouldn't it? To see,
won't.
like you say, I know they just don't get there, do they?
You
But
won't.
it would be nice to be able to see one
From the
that full
top,
body
as soon as that body opens up, and you'll see those yellow dans all the way down next to that zipper, will be quite impressive, wouldn't it?
It would.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, you'll get potentially 60, 65 out of it if you're lucky.
Yeah, well, that's still a
You'll
nice
get it
size
very
fish,
big.
isn't it?
Yeah.
But they tend not to look quite that clean when they're big, do they?
Well, that's the hardest thing anyway, isn't it? You know.
Which
people-
farm's that from, Kraft?
I can't remember. I've got so many farms coming out my ears at the minute.
Is that yours or is that in the shop?
No, it's in the shop. That's in Japan currently. That's coming over in February days.
Nice. So we're going to get a
What-
nice fish
what
in
is
front with that
suitcase?
then.
Yeah, in a Tupperware pot. I'm just going to send this over to you now, Gab.
Dino, listen to this one. Even if it was a lemon, mine's still better than that. It's got a body like a pen coming out of the bookies.
It's a small fish.
Oh, God.
Dino's safe though. It's not.
That was, should I say. Was I right in saying it's a Deutsch?
Exactly.
Jacob.
Hey, Crafty, I picked up my yen today.
Got yen in early.
Well,
I thought
the
about
yen is weak as fuck at the minute, isn't it?
mate, I don't even look at that. I need it to buy some ramen, so I have to get it.
Get your fish on tick though, didn't you?
Well, actually, I do from Tucano, but they don't survive by the time they get over here. So yeah, he keeps replacing them. But I love Tucano, mate, and I love his fish. But you pick one over there, and there's a slim chance he's coming back, mate. Because mate, that dude, he's like proper fish gangster. He doesn't give a shit how they're packed, and he could get people to come over to help him ship these things back, right? But he's got a lovely lady that helps him, right? But I don't know. I don't know, mate. I don't know why he doesn't get some like people from Danichi maybe to help him ship these things, because he is bonkers, mate. Honestly, absolutely bonkers. Morning, Alan.
Alan, you need to figure
He's
out
in
what
now.
you spoke earlier. You said you was coming on.
Well,
But to be honest, mate, if
there's
I'm
two
over there in
Allens and they've both got an
October,
orange symbol, so I thought he was on earlier, but it must have been the other Alan from Scotland, not Mr. Tate.
if I go over there for 6 weeks in October, I'm definitely going to try to help Tucano as much as I can, box the correct fish and send them to the correct addresses, and try to get them alive there for him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right, guys, when Al comes on, bring that picture up, because he will be able to elaborate a little bit more on that I've just sent you. Right, mate. I mean, it's a good talking point, to be fair.
Is this for the show scene?
Yes.
Sense of yeah, okay. Right, that's interesting. I didn't think.
Whole different world, the show scene.
Well, yeah, it's I can bring it up so you can.
I'm going
Mate,
proper bored, aren't I?
I'm buzzing.
You're
Yeah,
not
definitely
In
going
doing
fact,
well, mate. I think.
I've got a
No.
RoboCop line coming.
Yeah.
hey Murphy,
All face
drop it.
one.
What was I going to say? I was going to text Alan last night at 23:58 or something like that, and I thought to myself, oh, I better not. But I was
He
going
was
to make
still
when's
dribbling on his
the
pillar, mate, from his
Pardon?
meds. He has to have them meds to keep him alive, so he'd be dribbling on his pillar, wouldn't he?
exactly. But I was like that. Mate, I need to know when the VATs are going live to book my BKKS national one.
I've got a pitch in the Newark show.
Oh well, there we are. I'll come and help you.
Oh, that's really kindly. Thank
But
you.
I'm going to wear an exclusively koi t-shirt. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. I'll make one with perfect aquatics and exclusively koi, and I'll put whatever else
You could have
anybody
a
wants
dual
on
shirt.
it. Pardon?
You could have a dual. You could have perfect on the front, exclusive on the back.
Exactly, mate. You
But
know,
you've got to stand
and whoever
facing out
else
towards
wants
the
a logo on there, we'll do a really good logo. I'll even have New Forest on there somewhere.
Why not? I'll give you a hat. You can put a hat on.
Yes,
Yeah.
boy.
So those are the size categories for showing. Size 1, 15 to 30 cm. Size 2, 31 to 40 cm. Size 3, 41 to 50. Size 4, 51 to 60, and so on and so on. Now, I didn't think that size 1 started down as small as 15 cm.
Yeah, 15. Yeah, because I know that I had a fish the first year I was showing. I couldn't take an absolute belter because it was only 13. I was gutted. Disqualified. Access denied.
I mean,
Didn't you have one last year that was literally moved up a class because it was 1 cm over?
I can't remember. I know in the national last year, I benched them online, and then
Maybe
they
now?
went to the show, and then they got benched like 3 more times because Alan couldn't read the tape measure because he forgot his glasses.
he's fucking forgot himself. Look.
He's like, look at his arse now.
Oh, we're down
Get
here.
the mosquito out, Alan.
We're reaching for top shelf.
Oh, it's making me.
There you can
feel
see
it.
the mosquito.
You see the shape of his peduncle then? Unbelievable.
How you know those?
Good evening, mate.
Mate,
How
there's
are
a
you?
wrinkly Yoda made up, mate.
Alan.
We didn't need to see that.
The
Your
sassy
boys
was
just
lovely.
dangle around by your knees at your age.
Robocop.
Hey, I bet Alan can't go to the toilet in the middle of the night when he's naked because he'll trip over his balls.
For
So-
the question that we had earlier on, Alan,
That's a nice cup, Alan.
if you can, Lee give us a brief description of the things that he did to prepare and prep his fish. Not say in his words, I'm not saying this is the right way. This is what I do. Are you can you give us a bit of an insight? Have you done any showing yourself, Alan?
Come out that screen, Gaz.
Come out of this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, take that off because that doesn't look nice.
Put you on full screen.
He is ugly.
Have you ever done any showing yourself, Alan? I don't mean judging. Did you show? Have you ever competed, or do you compete?
He's gone deaf, mate.
Can you hear us, Al?
Yeah, of course I can hear you.
Oh, I thought for a second then I
Is
thought
it
we
when
were
asking
speaking
me the
Swahili
question,
or
isn't
something.
It's like listening to bloody Muppets listening to you lot.
That good?
No.
Somebody asked us a question: what's the best way, and what do we need to do
Of
to
course I
get
can hear you.
a fish prepared for a show?
But I got about 6 glasses in me here.
He's got a delay, mate. He's got a
Yeah,
delay.
most have, hasn't it?
Wait
What's
for
the
it.
best? What's the best things to prepare a fish, and what's necessary to prepare a fish for a show?
I'm going to sign out and come in.
He's got a
So
delay.
fucking old, isn't he? I bet he ain't got his hearing aid in. Oh, yeah.
I think his Zimmer frames just severed his SCART cable.
Fucking scartly.
Do you reckon he's still running on a SCART lead? God damn it. Oh. Elizabeth's asked a quick question there then. What kind of cross to get a goshki? What is it to make a goshki rig?
Is it
Me,
soggy?
it's a Goshki cross a Goshki because I'm not going to rewrite the book.
What is the, what do you know what the original
Originally,
would
it's
be?
Kahaku cross Sasagi to create.
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
But yeah,
Akamatsuba Asagi.
yeah. For us, we're just sort of copying. They've done it. We'll just follow what they've done.
Yeah, so you just keep breeding true to true.
Yeah. Otherwise, there's just too many generations of work to do to go anywhere. Alan, are you in time now?
Yes, I'm in time.
There we go.
So
That's
it was
great.
like speaking to the dead.
So have you just replaced your SCART lead?
Oh, it's like talking to one of the Wright brothers.
What's the best way to prepare a fish for a show, Alan?
It was, but I'm not now. Jesus.
Still got us on delay.
Showed up, you daft bastards.
Oh, he's off again.
Well, that was informative.
That's the internet cable gone.
Fucking, he needs to wind it up, doesn't he?
Oh dear. He's got his connection's either crap or that was shut up, you daft bastard, and I'm leaving.
It wouldn't have been.
He needs to start getting broadband.
It might be his dial up,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's arseholes, mate.
Struggling a
We'll
bit.
do it.
Bless him.
We move on.
Give him
What's
chance
the
for
last
it.
question? Did we answer the last question or not?
Because
Well,
she,
the last question was what's crossed to get a gosh goose,
Yes.
but you sit. Oh, Taz is doing it now, and I'll go down. Got them both back. There we
Still
go.
going off now.
Oh,
isn't it?
here we are. Alan's mobile.
Yes.
come on then, son.
What?
Third time lucky, Gaz. Go on.
Oh God, sorry. What's the best preparation to prepare a fish for a show? What's needed? What's necessary to do? What are the standards that you would need to be getting in? Because somebody's asked a question, I'm guessing that it would be interested in trying to get involved in showing. As a beginner, where would you need to start with your fish other than body growth and all the rest of it? Is there anything particular that a new koi hobbyist would like as a guidance?
Feed your fish the right amount of food. Ask Mr. Hatfield. Mr. Hatfield knows if you don't feed him, Al just says the shit.
It's good.
Too skinny.
He goes, how much are you feeding these, like, man? I said, oh, a handful of every hour, Al. He goes, ask Canny fucking not enough, like.
You little Welsh jet, I hope you fall off the button at the flipping breeders.
So basically, as much as you can shovel down and to get good body on them. Because I
You
did.
need to
To be fair, the last time I was there at the show, I did catch it on camera. Is you were giving Lee a little bit of a telling, saying like, right, this fish ain't ready. It needs more body. It needs more body on it before it. And it was the 3-step goshki that you had. The colour was coming in from the back, and Alan was saying, this is going to develop up, and the colour's going to come up from the back. But then you turned around and said, but it's because it's not got enough body on it. Which
Yeah,
is a
the
bit where
minimum
you
goshki.
say, yeah. That's why you've gone to the lengths of what you've done now by banging more feed into them, getting more body on them, getting them more bulked up before you drop them off, taking them in.
Yeah, you need a good feeding regime. You need good temperatures. Pointless feeding heavy if you're only running at 16, 17 degrees. You need to be up in 24 degrees. But you also need to condition the fish as well. It's not just about feeding them heavy. You need to know when to stop feeding them, when to detox the fish. You need to get the shiroji up nice and bright. There's a lot to it. And the best place to learn about that is at a show and ask the question. All these guys at show, Paul Williams, Crafty, Lee, any of them, will talk to you. They'll tell you. If you ask the question, they'll give you information.
When we was down at the National League, if you remember, but the first time I ever met you, the first opening words out your mouth was the massive kaku that we were looking at, and he said, "You got to be feeding that thing bacon sandwiches to get it to that size." And we were stood there, and the guy was behind us. We walked around the corner, and that guy, I mean, there were 2 or 3 that did it with us, but that guy stood for about a good hour and a quarter, telling us everything that he fed, everything that he did, everything that he went through,
was
all the
Dave
stuff he
Gardner,
feeds them, and
probably.
all that kind of stuff.
That was in the
of guys
Southwest.
most of the guys that are showing there, I'll give you as much information as you can take. If you can absorb all that information from him. I mean, it was only the first show I'd ever been to. I was blown away with all the stuff he was telling us.
Yeah, and I remember that guy, and I can't remember his name, but yeah, thank you to him. But, you know, people, when you go to the shows, everyone at the top end of the hobby, I'm sure, are knowledgeable enough to let anyone know the secrets, because they should do. And the secrets, like what Alan's just said, is temperature and food, right? As much food as you can get into the koi is fine, but you have to condition your pond to be able to put that amount of food in.
Yeah.
That's it. You can tell anyone, mate, Bolt Hussein can tell me how to run as fast as he can. I've just got to put those wheels in motion and do exactly what he does. But it ain't as easy as it sounds, you know? Trying to get 1.75 kilos of food, of sake in a pond and not kill the fish is difficult.
Yeah, you got to build that up, aren't you? You can't just
You've got to build
you can't
that up,
just say
mate.
day one you're starting out right today. I'm going to start feeding that amount. You've got to let your filters.
But it's not the same.
Bacteria
It's,
levels.
For me, Lee's far too cautious with his water parameters, and I've said this before. He's got that much K1 and moving bed media that he could put 10 kilos of sake in a day, and his filter would cope. Where people struggle with the feeding regime, their filters are not big enough or built proper in order to take the amount of food that they need to get the body.
And also, okay, so my pond's 5,000 gallons, 750 litres of K1 moving bed, a drum that works really good, two Backy showers, which has got 200 kilograms of Backy house media, and they're all running, and I'm putting just under 2 kilos of food in a day. Now I've got 18 fish in there now, and they're consuming that much food. Now, you can get the same results with 1 or 2 fish with a 2,000 gallon pond, because you've got less fish, but they're consuming more food than they would be in mine individually. Do you know what I mean? So it's it's the numbers game again. You know, there's different angles that you can hit to achieve the same results if you use your head and you're logical.
I mean, one thing that people struggle on the most, and I've had conversations with Al on this before, is skin quality. It's like they can get the body, they can get the growth, and the colours look good, but their skin lacks any sort of luster. And one thing that I struggled with when I first started looking was understanding what that skin quality was, because everyone mentions skin, but nobody really discusses what they're looking for or how to achieve it. And you know, speaking to Al and knowing a little bit more on how you get around that, it's, you know, when you put it into trying to get all your colours together, the size on the fish, growing not only body but length, put them on a feeding regime, when to cool the waters down, what food to use and when to use it. There's so many different variables depending on what sort of fish you're using or showing as well. You know, having like Shiro Tsuri on colour food is a big no-no. You know, because you don't get the best out of the food for that fish. You know, but then unless you've got a pond full of Shiros like Al, then you know you can't, or run a separate pond. You can't. You've got to find a balance. There's so much involved. It's mental when you start putting everything together.
Yeah.
You know, but
That's how it should be, though, isn't it?
oh
If
yeah,
you're going to be a koi show, you want to be good at what you're doing. Not
Yeah.
just lucky.
yeah.
You want to be good at it.
Yeah, you want to be going there to compete, don't you? If you're going, you want to be doing it and doing it right. You want to be doing it with best fish that you've got, and your fish in the best quality that they can be. Preparation, as they always say, it's key, isn't it? It's all in it.
Yeah.
It's mental, and just knowing some of the levels, some of the things that the guys have done in the past, just to try and get that little edge, is just unbelievable. I'm not going to go into some of the stuff because it's certain things that shouldn't be shared, but just knowing what people have done, it just fucking blows my mind, the lengths that people go.
Yeah.
Again, the lengths that people go, the more time I spend in Japan, the more amazing fish I see, and the more that I know of the standard of the fish that only get to this country, because some really top examples don't really come to this country. where Crafty's going on the lengths that people go to with all these colour foods and all this regime to get up to that pinnacle point, the zenith at the shows, right? If you can afford to buy the best fish in Japan, you can put it literally in your pond and it will do it all for you. You know, like sometimes when you can't afford the best fish, or you've got a fish that needs extra work to get it to be able to compete at the top end, that's where all the knowledge and all that and all the work comes in. But some fish will just do it. Maybe you see some fish coming out of the mud ponds in Japan. Say I went to an Odakan event, for instance. I harvested a pond over there, 54 pieces. You know, they all go in as Kozai, they come out as Nisai, they're in the vat, and you can quite clearly see that as absolutely amazing. And if I could buy that fish, if I had the wallet to buy that fish and put it in my pond, I wouldn't even have to properly feed it because it would just win. You know, so it's genetic. A lot of it is genetics and what you can find, what you can source, and what you've got access to as well.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why you've got to get your balls and your willy out in the koi houses to break the ice to be able to get
persuade
these
him.
jewels.
Is that to shock him into actually selling you the fish?
Yeah, you know,
to break the
on
ice.
average, once a Japanese breeder has seen a gaijin's penis, everything's possible.
But do you not find some of those Niso that are absolute standout amazing? If you try and take it onto Yonzai, it's not going to be the standout fish at Yonzai with some of the others in that pond.
Yeah.
Possibly
Every fish has got its day, isn't it? You know?
The-
I bought an amazing female Showa Isakoi farm off Chip last year, right? Yeah, it won baby champion in Euro, blown away. I was so happy, right? It's actually looking really good now, so I think it might have a good Nisai, you know, chance at the moment. I think it's about 52 cm now. I can't stop it growing, so hopefully it's going to fit into a nice size in the new categories. But then next year it might be trash. It's bonkers, isn't it? You know what I mean? But people, you know, I've heard of people paying £128,000 for a Tozai to go into the All Japan Koi Show just to win it, and they win it, and you know, the millionaire that's bought that's got the prize and got the award, they just go, yeah, I don't want it now because it'll be shit next year. They don't want it. Mate, I know a story about that. 128 grand, bought a Tozai. Won an award for it. That's all he wanted. He didn't want the fish. He didn't even see the fish in the person, I don't think. Do you know what I mean?
God damn.
So it's difficult to make the show scene is bizarre, mate, isn't it? Really, you know. But we're, you know, I don't know. Alan can make more sense of it, but you know, it's. I don't know. Is there a fish that can go through all the categories for like 10 years and keep producing the goods in a show?
Not really. You get the odd one that does.
I mean,
well, but
there's
not-
got to be some fish. I mean, what do we call it? What was the John Legend won 4 years in a row, didn't it?
No.
It was a big size, though. It wasn't a good fish, as small, or it wasn't.
This is it, you know. Yeah, this is
It
it.
didn't-
But he
You
did
know?
a fair few years in a row, that fish, did it not?
What, John Legend or S Legend?
Oh, it might have been S Legend.
S Legend, yeah. John
Legend.
Legend's a singer.
Yeah, John Legend's S
Yeah,
Legend's
cool, yeah.
daughter.
He's won a couple of Grammys.
No, S Legend's John
S
Legend's
Legend, yeah.
Legend's
He
daughter.
won 3 years, didn't he? He won
Three.
All Japan Koi Show, I think 2016, and then I think 2017. Then he had a year off because there was something wrong with it, and then he came back 2019 and won it as well. And then he got sold off for 1.8 million, which still hasn't been paid, by the way, and croaked it.
And died. Yeah.
That's
Is
right.
that right, Al?
Yep.
But he
Something like
now owns. He has the daughter from that fish, which is John Legend, and he
John
calls
Legend,
it John
yeah.
Legend because that's his favourite singer. So he names
Right,
all
okay.
his top breed fish after his favourite singers.
Would you not think we should use obviously the All Japan and the Japan shows are special and amazing, but hobbyists buy fish that never touch them. Never have nothing to do with them. They buy them, they go to the show, the breeder looks after them, the breeder shows them.
Yeah,
And that's how you show the best fish in the world. But
yeah.
the UK scene is completely different, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally
Fish-
different.
fish- are being
Total different
nurtured
kettle.
by hobbyists in this country to go to shows in this country. So it's
Different
a
kettle of
ballpark
fish.
away. It's a world away. And
Well,
if you
that's why it's difficult to get the same results, isn't it?
It's different, isn't it? But yeah. At the end of the day, if you're going to buy a fish from Sakai, leave it at Sakai. They're going to look after it. Go to Narita to be finished. Go to a show. Never come back. For me, it's just you've had no. There's nothing.
No
you've done
husbandry.
nothing.
You've had no input to the quality or the growth of that fish, and you don't really deserve the award for it. Really, there's two ways of it. You can buy an award, or you can earn an award, can't you?
But that's why that's why our show is quite special, isn't it? Because you have to own the fish and have had the fish and looked after it. And if you can win a grand champion and then look after the fish and that fish is better a year or two later, surely that's a better route.
Yeah.
It's a koi keeper thing. That's better. I'm not saying one's right or wrong.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
It's different, isn't it? That's just.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The first award I ever won, mate, was a silver in the. Is it the Wakagoi or the All Japan? Bought a lovely Shiro through exclusively from NND. Done well. I think I had a silver in the All Japan and the Wakagoi. I was really buzzing with it, but all I had to do was separate myself with 1,600 quid. Someone else picked it for me and raised it and dropped it off. So, I've got the awards. I love them. I think they're really cool. They look lovely in the
Where's the
Goyas,
fish
but
now, then?
they're not mine.
Did you bring the fish back?
Yes,
You're honest
I brought
about
the
it,
fish
right,
back. I bought the
You
fish
bought an
back.
award.
Alan loved it. It done quite well in the shows last year. Unfortunately, I sold it a couple of weeks ago to fund my Japan trip. Sorry, Alan.
Oh man. Oh god.
Did you get your 1,600 quid back?
And he didn't even give you first dibs, Alan.
I've got plenty
No,
of
it's gone to a really good home, actually. Actually, it's gone to a UK dealer, but to his own personal pond. So I thought that was quite flattering, to be honest, for a dealer to buy a hobbyist fish to go to their own personal pond, not for sale, obviously. It doesn't go nowhere near his quarantine or his actual facility, straight to his pond. So I thought to myself, must have looked after that quite well in the last 18 months I've had it.
Did you well as well?
Alan's on about that.
The difference is, mate,
100 quid a month.
that when you're entering the All Japan Koi Show, you can't do that over here.
You can't. No, that's it. You know.
So, but one thing you do get, if you're winning a prize, you're getting a sort of seal of approval that fish is quality. So that comes back with a prize. You know that you've got a fish that has got a seal of quality from Japan.
So you can't enter a fish over here if it's won the All Japan over there. Did you just say?
Yeah, okay.
If you own it, you can do what you like.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I misheard what you said then, but I thought you said that you couldn't enter it over here if it's won.
You couldn't do it over there. It's different, isn't it? So over here, you've got to be a hobbyist to show your fish.
Yeah.
Over there,
You can't even be a dealer and show because Al's an arse and won't change the rules.
Well, I mean,
I'm not sure it's all
did
Alan's
you not
fault,
have
is it?
dealer shows for the last show down at
They did this year, yeah. There was
They did
five.
this year.
Yeah,
Last year, didn't they?
in the national, they had a dealers section down the bottom part of the arena, didn't they?
But those were also fish that were for sale being entered into a show for merit to, I suppose, boost the sale, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, the dealers asked for a show and we put a show on for them. And it was well received by the dealers. So let's see who enters this year.
Hey Al, when's the VATs going live to book for the national?
I'll not do it till next meeting, mate.
Oh, next week. Okay, make sure you ping me a text so I don't lose out.
You'll not.
Good.
We need that Welshman to come.
I was there at 12 o'clock last night checking if they were live or not. I was like, oh, I don't want to miss out. I bought a van for the national.
Have you?
AMC's put there, but surely the All Japan Koi Show people know it's the breeder that wins the prize, not just the owner.
Well, the breeder gets the kudos.
You're
doesn't
just
he?
the owner.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
It's
I think the
towards
breeder
that.
I think the breeder gets, you know, worshipped in the UK if you win as well. You know, obviously Taniguchi or Sakai or Danichi or anyone that wins any major award is, you know, it's going to have a massive, profound knock-on effect to their establishment, isn't it? Bloody hell, that was good English, and I'm Welsh. Jesus.
Really.
Well, I might have to watch that back later. It's giving me a tingle.
We got one quick question there from Elizabeth Hart. Lee, and neighbours moving out next door here in Virginia. Do you want to move in? The water is free.
Well, Elizabeth,
Yeah.
I might send me a picture. Is it warm all year round? Is it going to
No,
cost
it's
me
freezing.
less on
You're freezing
heating
your tits
bills?
off over there now, mate.
Virginia. Oh, mate, Virginia would be lovely. Virginia. In fact, I got one of my best mates who's ex-SES is going to Virginia Beach working with some people to teach SWAT and Delta. So, yeah, I could probably go and get a part-time job there teaching sniping as well. So do koi half the time and sniping half the time. Be quite good.
When you
Dino's
said,
asked a
"Send me a
quick
picture."
question.
Oh, hang on.
What is a big pond in litres? Mine is 10,000 litres. Is that small, or do I just go into the medium? What would you class small, medium, and large in a koi pond?
It's about
Litres
2,000
wise.
gallon, isn't it?
Yeah,
10,000 gallons.
2,500
Yours, Lee,
gallons,
5,000 gallons, did you say?
So, well, I'm not an expert, but I'd say mine's 5,000 gallons, and I would say that's probably a good mid-sized pond. That I think you could get the results that you wanted to with the stocking levels correct. Do you know? I would say a big pond would be 10,000 gallons plus. A smaller pond would be 10 to 20,000 gallons, maybe. I don't know. What do you reckon? It's about right, isn't it? I think 5,000 gallons is a really nice size for treatments and all that kind of stuff, and just I don't know, maybe
5,000 gallons,
raising.
huge volume of water.
What's that?
It's a big volume
5,000
of water.
gallons is a large body of water, yeah.
That's 22,500 litres. That is.
Yeah.
So it's a 22-ton pond. So we work.
A ton of fish. Well, a ton per fish. I think is quite nice. I think that's okay. Maybe about.
A
I don't know.
10-ton
Alan
pond.
probably go. You're talking shit, like man.
We're talking shit, mate, man.
Go on. Well, Paul. Well, no. He's gonna go. Well, I got like 3 ponds up here, like just
lakes.
outside of Newcastle.
One.
Get
All
a
right,
bit
well,
higher. In Newcastle.
he still hasn't introduced me to Cheryl Cole yet. I'd love to sniff her peduncle.
Does she live next door?
I don't know, but she must live close because she's from Geordieland.
Oh my god.
But yeah, 10-ton ponds.
Cheryl, if
easy
you're
to look
watching,
after.
Lee'd like to sniff your peduncle.
Cheryl, if you're watching, I will build your pond for free. Okay, I will only use certain products. I will only work with certain people. However, you can pay me in love.
Has anybody
watching
else
your
out there got
channel?
any
She's in
questions
London
you'd like
anyway.
to ask this evening?
What's that?
Because
lived down London,
we've
didn't
gone
she?
through all them. Do you want to bring up that? Do you want to bring up what these sizes? Share the screen.
What business?
We've got this
So,
from
Al,
our crafty and your
Right,
size
so-
categories, Alan, for
so
showing.
this was brought out on the BKKS Show Chairs blog.
Yeah.
I think for December.
Yeah.
Give us the reasons why the size increases have happened and why we've gone into these sections now, because they was quite different in last season. If they're coming into this season,
They might not come in this year. We may need a little bit more time. We've got to readjust all the point system as well. So that may take a little bit of time to get the scientific answers to what we require. The reason for changing is, as you well know, Tuasai are grown larger than before. when these sizes first came out, Torsai were never the size they are now. So you got to move with the times.
So you
As the
shift your
breeders
categories.
produce jumbo Torsai, everything's getting bigger. Look at this eye, 55 cm. It's easy to get. I'm saying it's easy. It can be done quite easy.
Yeah.
So the plan was to move forward with the times and change the sizes accordingly. But I've still got a few little areas I need to iron out with a few scientific people. So I think this will not happen now in 2025.
Okay. That's a shame.
I mean, I'll talk more with Robin and other people I need to speak to when they get back from Japan, because they're all in Japan at the minute.
No, that's worked out really good for me.
That makes sense, though, doesn't it, with the toe size now, like you say, being bigger than what they were, to up the category, because the fish are coming in bigger, aren't they?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mate, to keep a toe's eye, right, for a show, and to condition it and to keep it in between 15 and 30 cm these days over a period of time, it's bloody hard.
Yeah.
It is?
You know, because you've got all your fish cooking in your 24 degrees, and then you really, if you're getting these toes in now, January or February time, they're coming in at 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 cm, right? So this is like February. You've got the first and the best show of the year. Well, it's not the first show, but it's the best show of the year, the National. There we are, Alan. Right? And to try to condition it and give it body and keep it in that size for July, that's nails. Proper hard. You need 2 ponds. And not many people have got 2 ponds. You know?
Yeah, but it's different for everyone. Isn't it?
I must have said something wrong.
Different people would- Yeah, I think that makes sense. I don't get. Yeah,
You know?
what's changed massively?
And it's only an extra 5 cm, really, isn't it? 15 to 30. Do you know what I mean? It's not that much, but it will make a big difference, I think.
Yeah, it's something we're still working on. Like I say, I can't see it now coming in this year. I'll need to speak to I need to speak to Robin when he gets back.
The changes are coming.
Yeah, these sizes have been.
What was the biggest sizes before this? Because size 7, 81 cm, quite clearly is a massive koi. But I was under the assumption that it was the bigger sizes was bigger than that. I thought it was 95 to 105.
Well, they did try and bring a size 8 in, but you never get that many size 8 fish.
No, of course you don't. No, it's the UK. Yeah,
For a sure committee, you've got to still, if you put a size 8 short on, you've still got to have 13 varieties, first, second, and third, and 75% of them awards will not be used. They're just waste.
Yeah.
So it's just getting the balance in that. We're still working on it, or I'm working on it. I've still got some down.
Work harder.
So for this year, then,
it's
for
getting
this year,
everybody
you reckon
together.
it's still going to be the old sizes?
Yeah, this year.
That's cool.
Which as soon as Robin gets back, we'll send out an email just to confirm it.
And I see that the North Koi Show is back this year.
Never was never aware.
Well, it says on the thing it's back this year on the.
Yeah, no, but we've never been aware.
What area is that in then, Alan? For all those that
Newcastle.
don't know,
Newcastle. Yeah.
Can you bring it south a little bit?
Yeah, you should move it down to London.
You'd be
Is it a
amazed
big
how many
event?
of us Northerners come down to your end of the world, but you never come up here, you
Well,
bastards.
can't you bring it down to like Newport or something? And listen, Alan, what date does that run?
I'll tell you.
11th and 12th of August.
Oh, perfect.
11th and 12th of August. I'll try to at least come up this year. Do you know what I mean?
At least.
Well, I'm not sure I'm going to take fish up there, but I'll definitely come up and try to find Cheryl Cole.
Give him waiting for you.
Bet Huey on the door. Where's the soldier then? Canny nice, isn't he, look?
Where's the Welsh rabbit?
Do you want a better Welsh rabbit, love? Saying it in a northern accent. I only want to come up so I can stay with Craig McNeish
Oh, nice.
and torment him. I hope he's watching. I hope you've got a spare room, a box room, or even no, I don't need it now. I just need a driveway because I got a van going straight back to my gypsy roots. I got a whippet and a van. Lovely. I just need to start stealing now.
Got a bed for the night at Cheryl's, so you don't need nothing.
Yes, exactly. She'll have a house in one of the mansions. Hopefully, Scary Spice doesn't turn up.
Actually, what are you eating?
Chinese food.
Chinese takeaway.
Christ.
Was that Chinese you showed me?
It's only 90 miles from Edinburgh.
Correct.
People might have to have a trip.
Oh,
up
do you
there
know
this year,
what?
Does.
Right.
We'll have a different run.
Yeah.
Do you know what I might
Away
do,
for
Alan,
once.
actually? I might come up for the Koi show, and I know this is going to be horrendous for the midgies, but I might come, if I can, like, squeeze a week away for myself, I might come up to the Koi show and do the Scottish 500. I may as well, I'm up there, aren't I?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice run.
Yeah. It's a lovely run, apart from the midges.
Just don't wind your windows down.
Mate, I tell you what, in when was it? In probably '99, I was the directing staff. There was about 8 of us from 3 para, and we took 100 Rangers from the 82nd Airborne up to Scotland for 2 weeks. The midgies destroyed them. They had no will to live whatsoever. And I was like, because I was teaching sniping up there, right? While doing lessons on sniping. And these guys were just like demoralized, mate. They were rock bottom, right? And I was looking at these fellas, and I was like, guys, there's got to be a couple of you here from fucking Alabama. I said, you not got mosquitoes over there? He goes, not like this shit, man. And mate, they cut like holes in their t-shirts, and they're like, mate. And I was like, that, mate. If mozzies can kill you, I said, and destroy your will to live, I said, what are you gonna do in Iraq? Do you know what I mean? And they didn't do much over there, to be honest. We had to sort them out.
Well, we didn't have any koi appreciation to do this week, but a fair few people have sent in some pictures of the ponds. You want to take a look at some ponds?
Pond appreciation.
Pond appreciation instead, yeah.
It's even better than koi appreciation. I love a pond build.
Well,
We're not
I
gonna
don't
see the
know
whole
so much
build,
if
are
we've
we?
got any actual builds, but we've got plenty of pictures of ponds. Some of them are videos as well, so we'll have a quick flick through of them.
There's a bit of a delay now.
Why has that not come up bigger than that? Well, there you go. There's the first pond. That's Christopher Lazell. I hope I said that right. That's his first pond. 8,000 gallon pond. Nice window pond.
Yeah.
Like them rocks
Lovely.
on the bottom.
Lee Wrights.
He's stolen my pink bike.
I was going to say, it's a nice big bike.
Don't like the
That's
Uber.
nice as well, isn't it?
Again. Bit of a view of some of his fish.
Yeah. Some nice fish in there.
Lovely. We need to get into the filtration systems, though.
Yeah,
Or is that where you get it?
On a
That's
Sunday,
what hits the sweet spot for me.
on a Sunday afternoon, which you're more than welcome to join us, Lee, if you ever want to come and show yours, mate. Because at the end of the day, I know lots of your
Pond,
viewers
that
have
is.
seen it, but might not
That just
necessarily
sounded
been on
so
that.
wrong.
Well, what do you mean? You want to come down to me on a Sunday?
No, I do a live every second Sunday
All right.
where people can come on and show their ponds and the filtration systems and what they've got and how they run it all and how they go through it all. We've had a fair few nice ponds on to have a look at as well. There's been a
Oh,
few.
mate, if you want to have a look at mine, there's no problem. Yeah, of course, whenever.
Your
You just
pond,
let me
that
know.
is. You can keep your mosquito to yourself.
No, the car is coming out. Trust me. I'll pre-draw on the googly eyes on the nutsack the morning of.
Let's hope it's a warm day.
Well, let's hope it's a warm day. Mate, it's fine. It's still got a stinger. It's just smaller.
There we go. Somebody else's cat.
So, actually, one of those cactus or cacti things, I've been sent one of those to review. What are they called?
Tyler.
Yeah, I was sent one of those about 6 months ago to review, but I haven't done it yet, and they keep hounding me to do it. So I will have to do it at some point because they were good enough to send it to me. I haven't even opened the packet yet.
Well, be careful when you open your packet because they've sent it in a little furry bag. Don't cut through it. Like
I won't. I did. But this is the thing. Do you know what I might do? Because I watched Vince's video of it the other day, and he's done such a good job of it that I think it's probably worth me just showing it and going, this is an amazing product. When you go and see Vince's thing of it, and whoever answers this question right can win this product. So I think it might be a nice thing to give it away.
There you go. Yeah,
Or I might even take it over to Japan and give it to bloody Takano, son, to keep bloody Sankeys alive. So I take it over to Japan and give it to Takano.
Yeah, make a gift.
What he says.
I know, come on, pal.
He'd go straight away, mate. He wouldn't even fucking
I know,
know
probably.
With his eye and his lip.
The mature pond, isn't it?
Yeah,
Size one. I'd like to see a bit more from the distance.
good clarity.
Mm.
All moss growing in around back of it all.
Go on, my pond water looks like Bovril at the moment with the amount of food I'm putting in.
This is Chris Taylor's.
Oh, look at that. It's like the famous round pond from Marihiro.
Heroes pond.
Got a nice big thick peduncle poking into the water up there. Good reflection.
Retro bottom
Vince has
drains.
asked me,
Anybody
is it
running
a
those?
6 in
Anybody
one?
running those retro bottom drains?
I've got one in mind, but one
Have you?
without the air system on it, without the air loop around it.
Yeah. So
I didn't
someone.
like the look of that with the clips on it in case, because they do like to swim around it. And
Yeah, of course.
through
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
bottom part of
Look at
it.
that
Just,
Sankey he had. He
Someone-
had
someone,
no Sankey off me for fucking silly money. Like,
Someone messaged me. I get quite a lot of messages about like I don't know pond problems and all that kind of stuff. They think I'm a pond expert, which I'm absolutely not. But this one lad a few days ago, I haven't replied to it because I don't know what to say. But he's told me, right, I've got this pond, I've got a Cockney koi skimmer, I've got a retro bottom drain fitted, and all that kind of stuff. What flow rate should I have? And I can't reply to it because I don't run that equipment. I haven't got a clue, you know. So maybe if you're watching this, get in touch with Gaz and he'll tell you about retro fitted bottom drains because I've never even held one, so I don't know anything about them.
I quite
a
like
fair
that.
few nice fish in there, Chris.
Yeah, got a nice Sankey in there.
He's got nice Takano Sankey he stole off of me.
Oh, really?
Not bitter.
He needs to buy some shearers.
He
Yeah.
does need a few black and
There's a
whites.
bit of
I've got
black and
few
white there,
in
doesn't
stock, Chris. If you want to, I'll send you some over, mate.
I tell you what, Al, I might see if I can find. Well, Crafty is on this now, but I might see if I can find some DK Shiro toes on. We'll see.
You can fuck off mine, son.
And I might grow some on, and I might offload one to my favourite friend Alan to put in his mud pond.
He's
Apple a day to the teacher and all that.
Does that work with judges? Bribe them?
No, not really, mate. They've got a criteria. They tick boxes, and that's about it. I just fancy Al. That's why I do nice things to him. For him, I mean.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Just got it
Mate,
right.
mate, When was the last time I seen you, Al, and you were in your work wear with your little work boots on, and I was gushing. I was like, you are what? You look like one of the blokes from the YMCA bloody video. Oh, it was Newark, wasn't it, when you were there working? I was like, oh, what a hunk.
Did he have hairy chicken legs, Lee?
Oh, mate, there was females gushing over him. They were all coy, but they were all gushing over him. Oh, that's nice. I like that. That must be Heroi, that last Goshki. Where was that Goshki from?
I don't know.
It was nice, that. Definitely Heroi.
I blinked and missed it.
Terry Ganders.
He's got a fair few fish, old Terry has.
He has, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Some big ones and all.
Yeah.
I can't remember the last time someone said I had a big one.
Because you always
If I don't shower for a week, it smells big.
Big one. I've heard people call it a flump.
It smells big, mate.
There we go. I think that's the last of them.
It smells like the swill tray from a Noir's filter.
Oh no, there's a couple more.
Nice then.
There's a building and making there as well. Thomas Haywood's new build that he's got going on.
Nice.
Like a little pond man.
Mate, do you know what, right? Again, I had another conversation with someone who was building a pond the other day. They phoned me and they said, all right, I want to make a pond. It's going to be 12 foot by 8 foot. And he goes, but I'm going to run 2 easy pods on it. And I was like, that. I said, mate, there's no point. I said, you could have a 4-inch drain. I said, you got to use a Nexus realistically for something that size. I said, otherwise you're just not going to enjoy your hobby because your fish are going to get ill. Full stop. Right? Nothing against easy pods. There's a time and a place for those, but for ease of it. And he goes, oh, and I've got room for it. And I said, well, if you've got a pond that size, 12 foot by 8 foot, which isn't particularly big, I said, you're going to need almost that volume again for your pump house equipment. I said, because have you ever seen a 4-inch valve, water valve? I said, they're massive. I said, and I said, the 90s take up a lot of room. And I said, you know, I said, you need to rethink your strategy straight away.
Yeah,
but that's nice. You can see the size of the pump house there for the pond, which kind of goes hand in hand, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's true, mate. I mean, if you was to look at the price of 2 easy pods, you'd be able to pick up the Nexus.
A second-hand Nexus.
No, or even just a Nexus.
A new one.
Brand new for the same price.
Yeah.
You know.
That's a nice pond.
Ooh,
I like that. Yeah, it's cool.
That's the ginger pond
I
keepers.
was going to say it's like the ginger pond keepers because they're all
stunning,
mirrors,
man.
aren't they? Yeah.
Real natural look to it.
Yeah, it's cool.
yeah,
I was going to say it would be a nightmare to treat it for like parasites, but if they're all mirrors in there, they're hard as nails anyway. You wouldn't have to ever.
They're
They're
all
proper
these new
survivors,
ones.
aren't they?
All these new ones, the ones he had before, got completely wiped out by the otter. The
Otter got them, yeah.
Really?
A lot of them, and all his rud.
I was on Instagram the other day, yesterday, scrolling
That's
through
nice.
it, and I seen an amazing pond. I don't know where it was, like in the Middle East somewhere, and it was it was all like loads of foliage. It was absolutely beautiful, just in the back of someone's house, and I was like, that is amazing, like, you know.
Martin Hoyts. Koi water plants and rants. Nearly got it wrong then, mate. Sorry, apologise.
nice picture that.
I like that.
I think this is the one. Damn. Martin there feeding them. Why did you just have a click there so I can click to the next one? Once it's all grown in and all the plants and everything grown in around it all. I think, if I'm right, Martin's goes underneath his filter house, doesn't it? He's built his filter house over the top of it, so it comes.
It's
back
like a
from
little
underneath here.
courtyard
Yeah.
koi pond. It looks really cool. Really, personal little pond. It's nice.
It's pretty deep though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Deep water. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it goes underneath the filter house.
I've actually seen him in a sexy little wetsuit.
Did you see him?
Oh,
Did
yeah.
you see him when he dived in? That was pretty
Oh
funny.
yeah, I've seen it on repeat many times. Lovely. I just love an ex-squaddy. Gorgeous.
There we go. That's the last one. So yeah, thank you very much for. I didn't actually realise. I had a quick look on Facebook today because I got a couple of messages coming in, and I thought, all right. And I flicked through and noticed that everybody's sending loads of pictures for the pond. So I appreciate that, guys. Thank you very much for sharing us. He's got a filter pit next to it. He has, yeah, at the right hand side of his pond. He's also got a filter pit where it's all these filter system runs from it. Has he switched it over to what do they call them? Drum filter. Did he go with the drum filter? Last time I saw, he was talking about actually doing one and switching it over. Oh, look at this! God damn. How's it coming on now?
It's getting there, mate.
Oh, where's the aeroplane?
To
does
the
have a
right
door
hand side for that, but all round the right hand side where that guy's working, that's all cement. And
They're not rocks, are they? I was just about to say that. They've
No,
sculpted those.
they're crafted into it, mate. It's amazing what I do.
I thought he was a statue.
There's
I thought it was a midget.
there's lots going on, man, and it's all getting like really like on top of us now. We're getting ready for plumbing the drumming and everything now.
What's going on in that central column in the middle? I
How's
found
it
it.
drawn out of the tree crafter?
Got a dancing Awaze.
Oh, you did say that, yeah. Yeah.
So-
And they're 4-inch bottom drains you can see as well, are they? To the left and right?
2 4-inch bottom drains.
Is that
Is
Is
this
it
going to be another
fiberglass?
foot crafted that you're coming across
Say that again.
this here? Is it another footing for this
No,
to come out further?
That's the base for the dancing. The dancing.
The Wars waterfall.
Got from Awaze. It's bigger than some pumps, man, that I've seen. I think it's 44,000 litre pump on it. Just the
Right.
power. It's just mental.
Can you take the cage off it so all the fish just jump around
There's
everywhere?
just like it squashed through. I mean, the fountain we've got is one thing I will say. Just the fountain stack is like lots of machined aluminium, and it just oozes quality, and it's all Bluetooth and synced in so it can dance with music and all sorts. It's a mad bit of kit, and I can't wait to see it work. To be fair,
There's going to be something else when it's all done, mate, isn't it?
yeah. So it's not being fiberglass. Is the South African guys that are doing it? They're specialists at this sort of thing. They're using some sort of paint that goes over it, like a latex paint.
Liquid rubber.
Mate, not that stuff, man.
No, like
Comes in a pack.
boy, mate.
Yeah,
Stuff
yeah.
you did.
It's supposed to be like the nuts. So I'm looking forward. But if you have a look on that wall, you can see that it's fairly pitted. So today I've got in and I said I don't want any of them spikes on that wall. And he's like, "What do you mean?" I said, "I'm putting koi in there, man. It's like they rub down there. I'm going to get fucking Freddy Cougar fish. He's like, they'll be ripping the scale." So I got them on a wet sponge, fucking smoothing it all back today. So they weren't very happy with me. Yeah. Well, he wasn't anyway. He was the only guy doing it.
What size is that pond, Craft?
10,000 gallon.
7,000 gallon.
10.
Oh, 10,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. What depth is it in the middle?
About 1.4.
1.4. Yeah, impressive. And what you can see in the floor is there two 4-inch bottom drains.
Yes, they're spin drifters, or the base of.
Yeah. Only 2 of them, yeah?
Yeah, only need
Yeah,
two.
that's all you need on that, isn't it? What drum are you using? Obviously a Noirs, is it? One of the XLs?
No, we're using a Synergy 100.
A Synergy. Okay.
Yeah. You know what we're doing is, so we've also got to 54,000 Pond Expert Vary pumps. Right, it's a new pump for them. So what we're going to be doing is showcasing what we sell, so we can actually show customers what they look like and how they work on a working model. You know, we do that across everything in the shop anyway. For different things, different size ponds have got different equipments like hardware on them, so we can show them in the workforce. But the drum itself is huge. It's a huge drum. You know,
Be cool to see it, mate, when it's all done and finished.
say again.
Graf, is that pond linked to the other ponds where you're going to have the river coming in?
No. So basically, if you just to like 2 o'clock, that bloke said, you can see a propeller shaft that's been cemented into the wall. The other side of that is another pond that runs the waterfall and the river course, but we're obviously that's chlorinated and it's going to be electro salted. I don't know what the proper terminology is, but you put an electrode in, add salt, and it basically chlorinates the water.
Yeah, like the swimming pools.
Yeah. So that literally separates one from the other, but it still brings it together, but just has that wall coming through. So it gives a bit of a look that you've got a big pond with a big rock wall going through the middle, but they're 2 separate bodies of water. You know,
what a project, mate! How much fun's that? Why are you not doing it?
565 grand we've spent.
Yeah, but wouldn't you want to be in there?
I mean, Crafty, are you going to be doing nude adult nights there?
The good thing is we have got a 2-story air source heat pump. It's fucking a double decker, man. It is massive to go on that. So that water is going to be at 24 degrees.
All year round.
And we're feeding Sakiakari in there.
Is this going to be the growing one there, where you're going to grow stuff on in it, like you said?
Yeah, so we've got hobs to go in, a little bit like what Coy Water Barn do, where you buy food, but because it's
feed the fish.
Yeah, a pound a pop, mate, and you know they'll get a fucking belly load. I'm a bit worried that initially the amount of food going through there is just going to fuck with the water. To be fair,
but it's going to be difficult because you're going to have different amounts going in at different weekend. You're going to have a load going through. Mate, I
probably want a break though, Lee.
Yeah, what filter? So I know you got the drum, but what bio have you got on that?
450 litres of K1 micro. So we'll see how that works. If that don't work, we've got the space to put another bio bed in, and you know I'll probably need to take it up to 1,000 litres to be fair. You know, but we've got the space. Yeah, we've got enough solar panels. That's 150 kilowatts we produce.
That's cool. I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah, it's going to be nice, mate. I mean, with it's nice to throw a load of koi in there, see how they, you know, a box of 300 tozai in a 10,000 gallon with enough food to fucking feed an army.
Are we allowed to bring a fish down for Azagara?
Well, you know, it's the only thing is, it's if there's any ideas from anyone for heron protection, please let me know.
Shotgun. I mean,
yeah, but
sniper rifle.
The only worry I've got, believe it or not, 3 miles away from us, there's a heron sanctuary.
You'll have to do something, mate. You'll have to net that, surely.
Semtex.
We've got to do something, mate. It was something I was thinking heavily about today.
Pigeon netting, mate. You know, there's companies that do that. They pigeon net whole historical buildings, and I don't think Pete's paying for that. I think pigeon netting that will be so minuscule. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. You know,
you have to pigeon net it.
Big koi.
It's easy.
Too big for Erin to take. There you go. There's a good deterrent.
Yeah, but it's also valuable for people to steal. So, you know, we've got a lot to think about with regards to safeguarding what we're achieving. So,
mate, the easiest way of protecting that is those pest scarers. 6 of them on there, infrared sensors, trigger them off.
With the water sprayers.
There's an easier way than that. Sit Crafty beside the pond because he's so goddamn ugly.
Exactly. No.
Mate, I've
just
got you a fucking chair in the cave, mate.
Make a cast of Crafty's gargoyle face.
Fucking gargoyle face.
You're talking about those bear alarms, mate. I'm gonna bring a bear alarm back from Japan this trip because I just want one in the back garden because they're hilarious. I love them.
I'll have to look at them, Lee, actually, bear alarms. That'd be cool.
Well, you could take a couple back, mate. They'll probably work quite well.
Yeah, I'll have a look.
But yeah, honestly, those pest scarers, mate, done deal.
They're good.
You could have them at the side where the customers are, so it doesn't matter. Just sprays.
Well, the
Spray
water 10 metres into the air.
What, from the fountain? Until the wind blows, it'll be in the next door field.
Well, all you need is on the top of that fountain is an impeller spinning like crazy. Hope that flies up near it, does get diced. Done.
That's not a bad idea. It's a shame we can't have like a laser that usually used steps mortar, like the Iron Dome over Israel, or something like that.
I was going to say that a Patriot air defense system you need.
From the Red Sea.
Sorts out the Antonovs at the moment around Ukraine.
A couple of pet peregrine falcons, they'll do it.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, that's not a bad show.
Feed them on koi.
Yeah, it's not a bad show. It's probably something we could do as well because Animal Tastic at the back of us, the guy that owns that is a zoologist and specialises in bird care.
Get Fenland Last to
Don't
beat
go
you
shooting the herons then. Jesus.
Yeah, a couple of barn owls.
We had a sturgeon about 2.5 foot long in the summer, and on the close down, the guys forgot to put the covers over the sturgeon pond. I got a phone call saying, "Have you got big fish out the back?" Yeah, why? The herons just flew off for one. Mate, it fucking took a 2.5 foot sturgeon out the pond.
Just to get rid of it.
Fuck did it even
No one
leave
wants
a
a
big
pond.
fish?
Get
You
shot.
know?
I'm surprised even the heron stooped that low.
Must have been hungry.
They
Mate, I think Alan would probably think that's even worse than the Tamasaba.
leave the Tamas.
Sturgeon. They're not my cup of tea. I won't have one. I think
No.
they're horrible.
But to answer your question, Lee, yeah, we're going to do skinny dipping in it. So
Nice.
I'm glad you got back there.
you're
just said-
more than welcome to turn up with your mosquito.
Well, mate, you'll get a bacterial fucking problem out of me.
Lee and the man
Aeromimus would be oozing out of me. Don't worry about that.
Right then,
Treat the
chaps.
mouth rot.
Go on, go on, Rick.
I was just saying, imagine the mouth rot and fin rot he's going to bring in.
Oh, it'd be horrendous.
Fucking
I'll
mouth
PP
rot.
myself before I get in. I look like an Oompa Loompa.
A decorated Oompa Loompa at that. Fucking body of a notepad.
Right, I'm gonna call this one an end before anything else gets said. Thank you very much for everybody for joining us, and thank you very much for coming on, Lee, and giving us a few
Surprise.
eye-opening truths about Japan and how you managed to get your bargains out of them. I bet that's opened a few eyes.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Alan, for joining us as well, and yourself, Crafty, and as usual, Rick and Daz. If you're enjoying this kind of content, guys, do us a huge favour. Like, share, subscribe. Tell a friend. Until next time, keep smiling, guys, and we'll catch you on the next one. Good night, all.
Take
Thank
care,
you for
everyone.
joining us.
Cricket bat.
Really bad, yeah.